Fantastic. Today, the van came into a savior. We had some rain come in. I was a roofer today, and I just closed the doors, nice and secure, nice and dry. Welcome, by the way. Lives are always you're more than welcome to ask questions if you're into the garage door business. You got things on your mind. If you're watching the sports or playing video games, I can't help you at the moment because you're preoccupied. Hopefully that's good enough. We'll go from there. We'll see how this rolls. I'm dealing with an AMAR bottom seal that I'm not super happy about. Nope. Nope. I'll tell you once. I'll tell you again. I'm not super happy about this bottom seal. Let me show you. Let's flip it around. Let's get this view going because you know how this goes. If we don't do it now, it might just never happen. Whoops. Supposedly, they went to this black. You can't do anything else. Hmm. So we got to mount this. The screws suck, so I got to drill it and I got to get bolts in it. This is originally what used to be in there. Yep. I'd say this is a little bit better. It's metal, but it definitely doesn't go in there very good. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if that's an upgrade. Hopefully somebody can educate. Yeah. Oh, I'm hitting something I'm supposed to be hitting. Oh, I'm sorry. We're supposed to rotate here. There we go. How we doing? We doing good? Great. And flipping tasket. Tasket? Tasket. Fantastic. Tastic. Get it right. Big words. Don't forget to, ooh, are these new ones? No, these are not the ones. Still, my opinion, if you got something, let me know. Best drill bits. I'm not saying they're going to last super for long, but the idea, the concept, the tube like this, and then a cap that screws on. I think you can get these through Amazon. Uh, Drill America bit cooler. I like these. These are the best. The guys all have them. It's got some foam in there to keep them from rattling around. They're easy to select. They're typically the size I need. It's got a little clip on the back. I don't use that, but maybe that's something. But there's a nice little tip for you. These are the best I found. They're plastic, so it doesn't rust. I've tried the ones with the doors. I'm not a big fan of it, so I really like these. The Drill America. They seem to hold up pretty good. They're a little bit stiff in there sometimes, which is kind of good. All right, let's see what we got here. She's got number 6. Number 6, stainless steel. She got stainless steel? How dare her spend that extra money? See if she got the right size. Damn, she got it. She nailed it, I think. Same threads. Same threads. Wow. Looking good. Looking good. Might have to take a break and go into the cooler myself because it's a little bit toasty in here. I ain't gonna lie. No breeze. Which actually I should probably shut the door for the buggies. All right, we're gonna try that. Remember, kids, you can always go bigger, but you can't shrink it down, right? It's just like I tell the guys with the wires, I say, hey man, you can always we can always cut it, but we can't stretch it. I haven't found a way to stretch it yet. Ooh, if we do that, let's grab a screwdriver. Let's grab a screwdriver. I finally found another universal screwdriver in another vehicle. Man, I was like, that's mine. That's mine. Because I've been constantly struggling to try to find the universal screwdrivers that, I'm sorry, I used to throw them away. I thought I was like, who would ever use this stupid thing? Well, they come in pretty darn handy when you're in the garage door industry. All right, that's good. We're good. Oh, don't mind me. Help yourself. This is stupid. This is absolutely stupid, in my opinion. This is the worst bottom. I, I might, I might, I might flip a script here. I don't know. I'm so glad I'm not doing this out in the field. We're gonna go right there. I'm gonna slide just a fuzz past. You look good down there? Okay, good. Let's check another person. Okay. All right, there's that. And supposedly I even tried calling. I called Amar and I was like, yo, I was like, you guys have like a metal. I screwed up because I said, he goes, well, do you already have the intermediate? And I said, yeah. And he goes, well, I could sell you a, doesn't want to fit. Did I make the hole big enough? Nope. You gotta go one more bigger. He goes, well, I can sell you a retainer. And I'm like, God dang it. I'm like, I don't want a retainer. I said, I said, you got a metal one? Oh, we had some around, but we don't got metal ones anymore. And I'm like, fudge. So I said, well, let me, oh shit, that thing landed in a horrible spot. It's like right on the edge. So silly. I might even drill another hole. That's just a horrible spot. It's on the bevel of this damn thing. God darn it. So we got to go up higher with it. Like I said, this would be really sucky out in the field. I'm gonna go next to it. Luckily, I kind of covered it up in this spot, but this is ridiculous. Gamer, we got to do better. We have to do better. All right, cool. That one made it. Shit, can't reach it. I'd be so mad right now if I was out in the field doing this. I'd be spitting bullets. Got a customer standing over me and dripping sweat. See how bad the nylon screws me? Yeah, it's kind of getting me. You guys got to get a Leatherman. I'm telling you what. I'm thinking about getting a clip one. I had to take all my stuff off because I had to wear a harness today. I got my old one here. She's getting pretty rough, man. The corner. But man, this thing's been just the best thing since sliced bread. Oh, look at that. Old baby. She's old. All right, there's that. Should probably get a screw gun. That'd work a little nicer. It's going. It's going. Let's hope it doesn't crest on this thing funny or something. Do something silly. Please don't be mean to me. Feels like it's on there. Ooh, it's buckling a little bit. I better back it off. I'm getting too tight. Yeah, that's probably about it. Not super impressive. And if you're a young buck, what you always do is you start at one end, go to the other end. That way you just verify nothing's goofy. And then you can, well, maybe you shouldn't, because maybe you're going to work out the seal. You know, this one's got a little bit of a bubble to it or a bevel. Well, anyways, I know my end's good. I'm looking at it. It is a hair out for the retainer part. Man, I don't know if I want to call that or not. What do you do? What do you do? It's probably okay, but I could probably make it better. Dang. I don't know. How many of these we're going to put in? Maybe do one right in the middle of this. I think we'll do that. Welcome by. What's up? I see some people jabbering away here. Intriguing. Ooh, what's up? Very warm places to be. Honest. Yeah. Oh, classic. That car looks familiar. Oh. More labor equals price in the end. Yes. That's why you got to go. That's why, right, Rusty? That's why I got to go Midland. Clopay and their plastic bottom seals. Say no to plastic. Where is this going to go? Where are you gonna go? I can't even see in there. That's so bad. This is horrible. Where did I go on that one up there? Yeah, what the heck is this? All right, so if I go there, I'm gonna go towards the center of this one, right? One, two. What do we got? One. We're in the middle. We're in the middle. Okay, here we go. All right, we're in the middle. Okay, something like that. Like I said, this damn thing would add another hour and a half to the stinking job. This is ridiculous. And it's for a sweet old lady. Sweet old lady. Her husband passed away not too long ago, so we got to take care of her. You know, hook her up. She needs to have this noise. I guess that's okay. I wish I could find, if anybody knows where to find, they give them for, actually, I might have some. Maybe we have some. They always did them in those decorative hardwares, little white, uh, little white things you put on. And that would just be nice to throw on these. Of course, these are a little bit skinny, so I don't know if they'll sit. Yeah, I think that's it. Not bad. Not bad. I'll show you what we got going here. Yep. Yep. This is the crate. Look, I think I bowed it just a touch. Just a touch. I don't know, but look at how it sits. That's going to collect dirt. Hopefully the reveal looks good outside. And then let's do this one. We got one in here. Oh, sorry. But see, I'm not a big fan of that. Is it the end of the world? No. But I'm just not a big fan of that. Got our thing here. So I went to the center. I said, all right, I'm going to go, center this one. There's one jog. So I'll do here. I'll probably do somewhere in here. Same thing. Do here. Do one at the end. And I might take the grinder and buzz that off just to be safe. Hopefully the job's not too messed up. Over me, I'm dripping sweat. Part-time zoo animal. I love it. I love it. That's funny. Part-time, yeah. That's how it goes, man. That's why I get so out of shape with the when people with these bottom seals. They just drive me nuts. See if I can set you guys up a little different here. See if it won't fall over. Bailey, looking good. What's up? You guys been staying busy? If it falls over, I'll come catch you. I won't really catch you. I'm gonna try to catch you, or I'll come rescue you. Rescue, I should say rescue. What are you dealing with, Amar? I guess supposedly they don't do this. They don't do the what you call it anymore. Excuse me. They don't do metal bottom seal anymore. Is what they said to me. I don't know if they're full. It's just that location. This stuff's horrible. And I wouldn't normally have this. I mean, I do have my picnic table, but I don't have the party table. What's that supposed to say? Time to party? I don't have the party table normally. This is the party table, man. And yeah. So I just set it down. I started looking at it because this has just got to get out of here. It's got to go bye-bye. You guys probably seen, this was the one. If you've seen the video, there's one where the plate was coming off the wall, the spring pad. And she bumped this door. She was a really nice lady. I'm so bummed, or not bummed. I'm going to be very bummed though. If I pull this thing over and that bottom looks bad on the outside. I had a customer with the Wayne Dalton one time. The neighbor was complaining that the door looked like it was open because I had a U shape on it. I always remember that. So you really can't beat like the Clopes or probably some of the other manufacturers out there. Maybe you guys know, probably CHI. CHI probably has good bottoms. But this right here is my biggest pet peeve. It's like if you want to get me mad, I hate bottom seal. Just hate it. Hate bottom seal. If you don't do bottom seal, it's that whole thing. It's like, oh, we sent a man to the moon, and the bottom seal, like we can't figure out bottom seal. Had to make sure the cover is open. Perfect. Always appreciate it. 9 likes. Thank you guys for hitting likes. We get up to 20, we're going to the bar. I'm buying. We'll go to the dollar bar if you know what I mean. Amar. Oh, Amar. Please rest in peace. All right. Got one. Bam, bam. Yep. So we're here. We're right here. Don't mess it up. My drill kind of's got the light in the wrong spot. Should have bought. Whoa. Oh goodness. Where are you? My old eyes. Let's see here. I think I hit it. Gotta keep pressure on it. Moving around. Scratching it to pieces. Dude, make me. You know another thing I seen? I don't have the rich B doors. They're out in the can. But what I noticed with this one, look at this. I thought, oh, you little flipping boogers. They do that little stamp where they just smash it. You know, they don't put rivets, they don't put screws. Did they glue it? Yes, I guess they glued it. But it's got that silly, that's what was on that Clope. Clope was, every section was busted loose because I had that design. Not cool, man. Not cool. What's it say here? Look good. Mine when customers pull up a chair. Ooh, so busy. Love. What Bailey? What are you liking about Service Titan? I think the only thing Service Titan might have over Jobber is like a commission base for the guys. It might track it more, but I don't know, man. I need your help. And how much you paying? How much you paying, man? I need some intel because Service Titan. We always wanted to jump up to Service Titan. Concentrating customers are watching me, watching every move. Oh yeah, I'm with you, man. The sales lady from one of our vendors, she used to install, and she said it was a safety hazard. You know, so she said, hey, so she'd tell them, you know, she'd be swinging around doors. Sometimes she said she'd make a couple like when she's rotating them, get a little close to them, and be like, you know, hey, I really need you to go inside. You know, and I get it. I can't focus 100%. That's like it's like texting and driving. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like go inside so I can like focus on what I'm doing here. I actually do better work for the customer, you know, if they're not sitting there babysitting me. Checking in if they are entire time. It gives me, yeah, anxiety. Probably same. Probably same. I don't know if it, to me, it's just irritating. It slows me down. You know what I mean? Because then I can't do stuff like I normally would. An animal, and they, you know, now it's like I got to act like a human. It's bad, man. It's a condo association, you know, whatever. It's like a whole HOA, and this is what they got. They got these AMAR doors in there, and the lady hit it, and you know, I was gonna put that bottom metal retainer back on, and then her door was dinged up enough I couldn't do it, and I don't know. So now we're dealing with this AMAR, and then the compound that somehow it got ordered wrong as an intermediate, and it was supposed to be a bottom. So now they gave us the bottom piece. They still didn't give us trim I think they forgot to give us trim. It's been so long ago. I don't know now. So it's just a lost cause. It's just now you're just in recovery mode. You're just like, whatever. We're gonna put PVC white on it and go from there. We just got to get this boat down the road. You know what I mean, or down the river and see what happens here. Are we gonna float or are we gonna sink? Um, Headphones on. I just don't want to think I'm ignoring you. And they usually leave. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I had a guy years ago. This guy I worked with, this technician, he'd always play techo music, real tech stuff, like. I mean, it was like almost kind of annoying to me, but I kind of started getting used to it, and I was like, well, at least it ain't rap, and they don't say nothing. It's just, it's just like something being like in a party, whatever you call it, and tech music, techo music, and so he we had this old boy. He's sitting there. We had to do like three 10 by 10s or something like 10 by 12s. This dude just watching us, man, like a hound dog. I said, "Hey, man, turn some of that music on." You know, thinking maybe that would smoke him out. Nope. That old boy didn't even flinch. He just sat there, listens to that music. Finally, I'm like, "All right, like turn it off. Let's turn some country on." So I turned some country on. And then, of course, that was the guy that wanted to tell. We were doing it through Lowe's. He wanted to tell Lowe's after we sent the bill because we added like another shoot. I don't know. We added probably like $400 or $600 because we had a lot of fuel. It was a long ways away. And I remember this guy like telling, he kind of was rejecting the bill, telling Lowe's we never did no extra custom work. And I'm like, bull crap! Like us having to drill all the rivets, put track bolts in. It almost sounds like it's raining out. Is it raining? And I'm thinking like, hell yeah, we did extra work. I mean, we had to shim it. I mean, we definitely put some extra work in there. Yeah, it is raining. I don't think they're supposed to have this motor tipped up. So we better bring it inside or something. They got the cement mixer. Here, I'll bring the cement mixer in. I'll show you guys. Bring the cement mixer in. I don't think they should, motor. You don't want that exposed. They had it tipped. Plus, we don't want the barrel. Ooh, it's loud. I don't know if you guys can go hear me. It's kind of pretty. Yeah, it's a room. Okay. Hopefully, it doesn't wreck my audio too bad. It's loud. Definitely don't mind if they pull up chair with questions. Bert, hello. Tuxedo? The Canadian tuxedo? I'm sorry, Evan. We can't be at a salad bar. I'm sorry, Evan. I guess we can't be friends anymore. Trump and your prime minister or whatever, they're having a little tantrum party. I was listening to a little bit of it today about, we'll match them dollar to dollar for tariffs. And I kept thinking, yep. I kept thinking those tariffs. I thought, what a bunch of bullshit. Because guess who's going to pay? You are. And of course, what did I get today when I seen the secretary message something through our pipe vendor for fencing? Guess what? They even said in their letter, it's volatile times, ups and downs. They had some weird verbiage on there, and they said, guess what? There's going to be another 5% increase. And I thought, yep. I thought, why don't we increase the doors as well? I was thinking about it today, and I started really thinking that to myself. And I thought, I think they're doing this on purpose. They need inflation, which I don't know why they're being so inflation to cover up something. But they need this inflation, so it works good. Like they're working together, right? They act like they're enemies, like it's like a football team, right? But they're all patting each other at the end. Yeah, I thought, sure, whatever. Go ahead. More of this, more of that. This is more expensive. This is more expensive. Of course it is. You know, it's just what do they call it? Saber rattling. rattle in the cage. That's what it feels like. Ooh, rain cooled down. That's good. That was loud. So one thing about a metal roof, if it's not insulated or anything, it's loud. Or it's Seneba. Reasonable question. By all means, are always welcome from a customer. Absolutely. Yeah, I never mind if a customer hangs out for a little bit, but when they plop down a chair and it's they want to tell me how they used to, I used to install garage doors, and I'm like, oh, we go, okay, okay. Just changing doors for a customer, and they ask if the remotes will still work. That is, you know, that is true. It's kind of weird because actually now that they ask, um, I just had a lady. This was a few months back. I went to, and her travel module wire broke. She had an older whatever Chamberlain or something, and she asked that question. She goes, well, my remotes, and I said, oh yeah. I said we didn't mess with anything with that. We didn't even push the button. And I guess what? I'll be darned. 20 minutes, 30 minutes later, wherever we're cruising down the road, heading to another customer. She calls. She says the remote's not working. I'm like, what in the fudge? I'm like, God darn it. David Allen Dempsey. You should have checked it. And so I was like, I said, well, I'm guessing the battery's bad. She's like, well, it's been broke for a little bit. So maybe the battery died. I said, yeah. She goes, well, if I can't get it, I'll ask my nephew. So she does this and she's really trying. I could tell she is. And then she calls back pretty much at the end of the day. We're at the shop. And she's like, I think it wasn't working. And then she got it working right at the very end. And I'm like, I said, we can come out tomorrow. I said, we're going to be back out that way, take a look at it. And so I guess in a nutshell, my long story short is my long story short is I was just telling a technician today or yesterday, I think it was. And I said, here's the thing. Lowe's always taught me, right? Your first 10 minutes is the most important, and your last 10 minutes are the most important. Your first 10 minutes are the super important, right? Basically, you show up, you greet, you're introducing yourself, your first impression. Hello, how you doing? This is what we're going to do. Oh, Canada, damn it, they shut the power off. I knew it. And so, that's your first, do you got any questions? Now, typically, I always try to remember, and I do forget occasionally, if I'm doing an opener, get the 4-digit. Get the 4-digit for the keypad. Because that's always the one where you're always doing everything. You're almost getting there and you're like, I need that 4-digit. Sometimes they leave. Sometimes they're going to work. Sometimes they're driving. They can't answer the phone. Sometimes you don't even want to, because you ever notice, like when you fire up that opener, as soon as you start firing up that opener, if their house is connected, they'll come out. Oh, is it done? And you're still tweaking stuff. Or if you run the door too fast, kind of thing. They hear that the door running up and down. They come up, oh, is it all done? No, stop. It's going to be another hour still. I got to still tweak this thing. Go back inside. Moment to build a business relationship. Show off your knowledge by explaining to the customer by from people like and trust. Yeah, maybe residential. I mean, I could see that with a little bit residential, and maybe that's why we like our commercial, because commercial is like that's totally different, right? Like they point to it, the guy's got 20 other jobs to do. He's like, it's there, it's broke, go fix it, and we're just like, we're men, and we just go do it. We don't want to interact. We don't want to talk about, oh, what kind of flip flops do you wear? What'd you pack for lunch today? It's just go fix the damn thing. So that might, I mean, residential maybe most time they don't want to interact with us. So we got about by garage doors and all. Exactly how much we're paying for service item, but yes, with commission and how organized it is, definitely like the jobber. Nice, Bailey. You got to give me some like. What do you guys get? Do you got like a formula or anything you can send me? Or not send me? You know what I mean? Like, do you got anything like they pay a certain commission? I'd be interested. We need help like that. We do. They do it off the profit through ADG, but more the merrier. Or if are you doing residential? You do a lot of residential. Are you pretty much the salesperson? The numbers they got like just a price sheet, and then you can bump up the numbers. Is that kind of how it's set up? Kind of like A1. I'm just curious, man. Give me some insight. Text me, email me, send some love, man. Send some love. Show me that service tight. Take a screenshot of it when you're using just something. I don't need to see customers or anything. I just want to see it. Like, how's it add up? I'm so used to Jobber. If you get a chance, maybe we can ask. I'll be like, yo, how much we paying for this stuff? Say, I'm hungry. Be like, oh, like we pay like $1,200 a month. You're like, damn. Or we pay $2,400 a month. And you're like, God damn. You cut that down, get some Jobber, man. You give me a raise. Da-da-da-da. Dave's still waiting on my doors from Red Ribbon Company. No one can tell me when, where is, but they're supposed to be here weeks ago. Dang, dude. Dang. I wouldn't doubt it, man. I tell you, when you're kind of the small fish when it comes to certain things, like it took a while, long while to get this, and I don't blame them. We do a lot of AMAR, you know. And then they had to go out there, and the guy was like, "Oh no, it's just seal." I guess it's kind of on there. Um, so they did that one. Um, I don't know. It's sometimes you just don't know nowadays. That's why I'm always trying to tell everybody. I'm like, if you get good service, you hang on to it. You love them and kiss them and hug them, and you take really good care of them. You pay your bill. You're nice to the truck driver. You make sure you're there to help unload, all that kind of stuff, because it can change. All it takes is somebody to get bought out, another company to come in. Stuff changes. That's why you got to be. To me, you got to be able to change up your stuff. I mean, think about how many times probably what Mr. Tanner's changed vendors, because stuff isn't working and just ain't feet. It's not a good fit anymore. Let's see this bad boy. See how, oh, it's got nice cardboard. Nice. That's wonderful. See how bad I beat something up? Probably been damaged. Didn't even notice it. What's that? Is that rubber? That don't look too bad. That don't look too bad. This profile, though. Here's this. Definitely got to catch the dirt. Catch dirt and keep stuff built up in there. Yeah. It's a pretty door, though. We didn't really have these much of this style when I was first starting out. That's pretty. Looks good, especially for AMAR standards. No damage, no scratches. I didn't get touch-up paint. Looks good. Looks good. Sounds good. I guess it's not too bad. I don't think nobody will bark at the commission. I'm going to try to nip that off because I hate to be out in the field and that be a problem. I normally try to leave my rubber a little long, but this is all put together. So, I mean, once this is, it's one of those things you can't just change the extrusion. No, you got to change the whole damn thing. So where are you going to get that? Future, man, the future. Got to be thinking about the future for the company. I don't know. Sometimes maybe I overthink it. Call it Euro trash music. He liked the green stuff. I didn't know that for a long time. He was into the green stuff, and he was a damn good technician. But I still have nobody that ever answers me if the green stuff can make you very moody. You know what I mean? Can change your dynamics because I've said it before, but we were at a fire station one time, and we're all working. Man, there's 6 of us. It was way up in Traverse City, Michigan, and we're working. Well, I see him take his shirt. He had another shirt on, but he took his shirt off, man, and he just chucked it, right? I just remember seeing him chuck it on the ground. I'm like, man, I'm like, all right, like, and it's a company bought shirt, company washed, company bought. And I got my shirt on. I don't want to take mine off because I got to be kind of the lead man here. So if the fire department or the chief comes up or has questions or we need, I'm trying to be professional. And this guy, I see him throw it down there. So I'm thinking, damn, man, I need a rag, and I don't really carry rags. I do now. I try to keep paper towel or something in my truck. But I needed something. So I grabbed his thing and I started wiping doors down. And I mean, just think of animals. I mean, we were just zip, zip, zip. I mean, everybody there was qualified. Everybody was trained, had years of experience. So I mean, we're just flooding this place, trying to get it done in a day. Like it was 6 or 8 doors, I can't remember. And we're just trying to wham them out. And so I just grabbed that, man, scoop it up, start cleaning. And I remember he starts looking around for it and he's pissed. I mean, he's all of a sudden, he's like, "Where's my shirt?" And I'm like, "I got it." And I'm up in the scissor lift wiping the door down. He's like, "That's my shirt." I'm like, "I know." I was like, "I'll send it in to get cleaned." And he just literally like stopped his foot down. He goes, "I wash my shirts." And I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, we'll send it in to get professionally cleaned, and then you can take it home and you can wash it." Because he said, "I don't like how they wash them. It feels starchy." And I said, "Okay." And I'm looking at the other guy like, is he messing with me? Like, is he punking me? He's punking me, isn't he? And no, he was mad. I went outside. He came back in. He was a different man. He must have got his Hulk Hogan juice. So he was just cranky. I'm just gonna start carrying around bottles. That's what I'll do. I'm just gonna get bottles with some warm milk. Got a problem? Here you go. Go outside. You need a, you need a you need a you need a little nipple. Um, where is this thing at here? Yeah, buddy. This looks like it's got a metal blade on it. These are pretty nice, man. I tell you what, these were one things I never carried. But I tell you what, these help with commercial, residential, a vibrating tool for your pleasure or hers, and they work out really good. Next time, throw on some. Was it split eyes to scare off the customer? It's not a bad idea. The Duluth pants, I'm loving. We got these things all loaded up. I don't think I have my radio on me. Man, these things are. I was watching. What's his name? Caleb. He found a spot for his knife. He's got 2 hooks on here. And I'm telling you what, these are really good pants. I can't even like work without them now because I just got them set up so good. Yeah, knock this out. There you go. Cut it like butter. No, no fuss, no muss. Just knife the last little piece of rubber off. I like it. I think it's ready to go. Maybe tomorrow. Nice sunset. Heck yeah, look good. They're having a lover's spat. Think I heard you guys ready. We'll go up if the terrace go through. You'll check that though. Wow. What's up, Kevin? Hope you're doing good. CHI announced 8% beginning of September. Yeah, I haven't heard anything through the door manufacturers. I mean, it's pretty much like everything's connected. So if I hear it through the fence company vendor, you're going to hear it. If I hear it from one garage door company, I don't know how true this is, but always keep this in the back of your mind, especially if you're a new guy starting out, all this other stuff. I had a sales lady that she was 20 some plus years of doing the business, right? And she told me, she said, people don't know it, but we're actually connected. We're interconnected. And I was like, well, what do you mean? She goes, basically, let's just say, for an example, you screw Wayne Dalton, like you don't pay your bill. She's like, that's in a database that basically Clopay can look at and they can reference that and see that you don't pay your bill. And so that's why you don't want to piss off vendors, and especially if you get a good one, you want to really take really good care of them. And it was like a guy that used to work here, and then he went out on his own. He started screwing people bad. And then they were calling me, and they're like, "Do you know this guy?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know this guy. He's a cheat." And so then I knew one he was going to because he was working his way out. He was doing people that were local, and he kept working his way out because he kept burning bridges, and he was writing bad checks, constantly writing bad checks. He went to one of our guy that made our papers and sheets and a little bit of advertising, business cards. And I remember the guy called me and he's like, "Hey, do you know this guy?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "You know what?" I said, "Let me come over and talk to you." I said, "Because, there's some shady stuff going on." And I like this guy. He was a good vendor. And he's like, "All right." So I get over there and talk to him. I said, "I honestly would not do business with this guy." I said, "He's doing some shady stuff with like checks." And he goes, "Oh." He goes, "Really?" He goes, "It's odd that you say that." He says, "Because he wrote a check. Then he called later and said, 'Oh, don't cash that check. We're going to give you another check from another account.'" And I said, "Uh-huh." I said, "Yeah, he's burning bridges here." I said, "He's doing fishy stuff." So I said, "I would not deal with this guy." And then I even called my competition. He had a pretty big order of a custom door, and I said, "Have you ordered that door yet?" And he goes, "Well, no, because he hasn't paid his half down yet." And I said, "Okay, well, I'm just telling you." I said, "He's doing fraudulent stuff." I said, "You might want to have him pay in full, and you might want him to pay cash or some other form." I said, "Because he might screw you." And he was like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Well, I really appreciate that." And it's like, yeah, like sure, maybe we're competition, but I don't want people getting screwed over. You know what I mean? Where is this one? Multiplier on R12, R18, because we did a farm show display. Oh, I'll show you. I don't know what this is any decent. It's so hard to bring the contamination back. I mean, it's pretty, I'll see if the brochure's still here. I seen this and I was like, that's a pretty good price. Wayne Dalton's got some Pandors. Yeah, these are all 8,000s. So these are Pandors. They seem like from pretty damn good prices. Look at that. Is it going to be backwards? I don't know if it's going to be backwards for you guys. Look at that. 575. Pandors aren't too bad, Wayne Dalton. I think you're going through September 30th with this. 8x7, 9x7. Yeah, 360. Not too bad. Not too bad. It's tempting, but man, those rich bees, ooh, man, they do a good job. Got good quality stuff, good bottom seals. It's like, do you really want to have that contamination? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, Johnny. Do, 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 do. What is this? Sensor, tomorrow? Nice. I was literally just thinking about I was just thinking about Tanner, and I was thinking about Evan because I was up on the roof today and I was changing out gaskets, and I was just like for the screws for the metal roof, and I was like, who the hell would want to own a building? It's like this bull crap. Got to freaking take care of this stuff so your roof don't leak. Oh, it's always something, man. Start going tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Finish. So 6x12. Nice. 12x14. Operators this morning. So nice. 2 days install. That's great. Is that how much they pay? Yeah. Yeah. Take them. Yeah. That's pretty much it. It's hard, because it's not a bad price. They're trying, but like, where is the things here? Do we have any? I don't see any right here. I thought we had some sitting in these bins. No, that's not them. They got those crazy little brackets you got to use, and then their bottom retainer. I just seen a bottom retainer come in for a customer, and I was like, I said, that's not fun. The bottom retainer, and then they did their silly little like top flag brackets, which I didn't like. Let's see if I can find one. I don't know if we even have any extras. Yeah, there's one right here. I mean, this was just like spitting on you. It's like peeing on your back and saying it's raining. It's like, what is that? Like, that's Wayne Dalton. Boy, it's like, what is that? What is that? Aki, what the hell is this? That's supposed to be your end bearing. I mean, that looks like it should be a center support for a spring, but that obviously ain't enough meat for a spring pad. And they do weird little stuff like that, and it's just like, nah. I'd think I'd rather just spend a few more bucks and you know deal with the good stuff. Copay samples or day. Oh, I see one of the guys. He's doing a great job being a good salesman and everything. He listened to my advice, right? Got a sample, got the big sample, right? Show the customer so it matches the front door and all that. So, like I said, here's the sample. Have the customer sign the back, autograph if you want. So that way everybody's on the same page. You can put it up to their front door, make sure it all looks good. Let's see. I might throw a couple more things in the van so I can shut this door. What's that? Let's throw these up here. Do, 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 do. All right, there's that. Screwdriver. All right. Oops. Door didn't shut. It's a genie. That's why. Change out. Change out Starlink opener on Friday. Huh. Well, warranty. Those suck. Huh. Oh, yeah. Sky. Yeah. Probably was. Yeah. Auto. What's it say? I've seen Wayne Dalton with three center brackets as bearing plates. Oof. Ugh. Yeah, it's kind of it's always up in the air, Evan. I know some do charge for them. Sometimes they'll give them to you if you're a good enough uh vendor. But um looking at it looking at it through the eyes of a seasoned vet now, it wouldn't bother me. Even if we have to pay for that one, if it's $20, um, it's the best $20 you could ever spend. You know what I mean? Because it's one of those things, right? The customer is supposed to pay for it. I mean, granted, if you can get them free, absolutely. But something to keep in mind too, and it's one of those things. Just my opinion, but we used to have tons of samples in here, and we used to ride around with some in the truck and stuff, and they got beat up and they got destroyed. We used to have a nice door sample. That was probably about the best one. I liked a door sample that would stand up on a pad with rollers. And they gave it to us. They said it was like one of their ones they were using for at their shows or something. They were nice enough to give it to us, but they said it was like, that's like a whatever $200 or $400 display. But we were selling a lot of Wayne Dalton back then, so it was kind of like, give me, you know, um, when you're like the best one on the half of the state, it's you know, let's have one. But anyways, we used to have so many displays, and now I believe I believe it's gotten actually better now, right? Like with technology, people, it's easier. I found out it's always easier to basically have the customer look for what they want, and then they kind of come back, and then we go from there. Because sometimes they'll still buy one from a box store or something. Maybe we'll install it for them. But if they need something like this one's got to match, they're trying to match that front door. The front door is always the key. If they're not matching the front door, I could probably live with a brochure, but I still would like to take it a step farther. And you just have to provide that good service and educate the customer and just say, look, we want to make sure this is right for you. You're spending a lot of money. We just want to nail this one home. So that's kind of what we're doing with this one. It's going to take a little extra time, but it's still going to take probably 6 to 8 weeks for the door to come in. So if you really needed to push it, you could always order it while you're waiting for the sample. And then you might have some grace in there to cancel, but you do too much of that and your vendor might not be too happy with you on that. But there's ways to kind of manipulate the system. But to me, like I said, we got to spend $20 because the day that you install it, I still remember the worst one. I wasn't there. We sent two technicians. They were probably about 45, 50 minutes away from the shop, and the phone was just lighting up. I had our existing customers, I had commercial customers. Now I got my technicians under my helm calling me, going, Mayday, 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 we got a problem. And I'm like, what? And they're like, this door doesn't match. And I'm just like, what? And then they're showing me, they're trying to send me pictures. The pictures aren't downloading. I'm looking at it. I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, like I think the vendor sent us, they put the wrong stickers on the door. That doesn't even look close to what I'm looking for. And I went off a brochure. And I thought I had it licked because I took two brochures, and I would do this a lot. When I had a customer that felt a little bit funny to me, I would take two brochures and I'd give them one, right? This is what I used to use. These are my go-to, man. So these are always worked out really good. These are good brochures. I'd have them go through. They always put the more expensive doors in the front. So I always tell them, you go towards the front, you start getting some of that fancy stuff that can cost more money, and you're already kind of. But anyways, I'd go through and I'd be like, I'd bring a permanent marker. That's why I always carry a permanent marker, and I carry a carpenter pencil with me. And I would go through and I'd say, I go, okay, so you want this, right? And they go, yeah, we want that one. So we want a price. I go, okay. So I'd circle it in their brochure. I would circle it in my brochure. And I say, and you're looking for oak for color? And they say, yeah. I would circle. You want these windows? Yep. I would circle it, right? And then what I would do is I would leave the brochure with them. I had a brochure that was marked up, and I'd either maybe put a customer name on it or something, job number, whatever. And I would keep that with me on my clipboard with their information. That's hence all the clipboards, right? And that way, because sometimes it would day later, a couple hours later, they would call and they would say, you know what, we're looking through that, and I don't think we want to do oak, we want to do walnut. And I'm like, okay, that's not a problem. It's probably not going to change the price. And but we're all on the same page. Well, like I said, I thought this one was all good. Place the order. 3, 4, 6 weeks later, whatever. Door comes in. Now the technician's there, and I can't find out where the problem's at. Did I order this wrong? Did the secretary order this wrong? Did the vendor put the wrong sticker on the door? And then luckily at the very end of all the meat and potatoes, they call back and said, the customer's got a painter. They're just going to paint the front door a different color. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. You know, but when you're growing and you're small, think about it. Do you want to eat a $5,000 door? I don't even want to eat a $5,000 door today. You know what I mean? Is it going to kill us? No, but I don't want to eat it. I don't want to try to sell it. I don't want to put it out on a yard sale. I don't want to put it out for a discount. I don't want it taking up space. It's a huge inconvenience. So that's why I got to be so diligent when you're building your way up to it, because stuff happens. The brochures don't look nothing like the real samples. And you can have paint samples, that's good, but there's just nothing like a good sample that they can lean up to their front door and stand back and go, hmm. And that way you got the sample. So when the door gets installed, right, either for yourself or for your technicians, you can place it next to it and you could take a picture and say, I don't know what the hell the deal is. I mean, this has got the sticker, it's this model and color, and this door says it is, but this does not look like it at all. And maybe you can get a rep out there, a salesperson out there, and say, I don't understand this. I mean, this one's brown and this one's green. And you're saying it's forest poop. It ain't right. You know what I mean? Like they both got the same sticker, but this one's like that's what the customer wanted. This is what you provided. You got the proof. You always got to be covering your ass, right? That's the key, man. You got to be covering your ass because they there's a lot of things. Just like what you should be doing at nighttime is you should be getting confirmations. If you don't get them yourself, get confirmations. Be looking over the confirmations with a fine tooth comb, color, radius, struts, track, whatever, perimeter seal, you know, and that way those are on order. Those are confirmations. You want confirmations. So those are just some little tips because you got to do a lot of stuff behind the scenes to make stuff work in the real world, make it go right. Do, 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 do. Da, 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 da. Fake it till you make it. I like it. Cards for free. Yeah, they typically the cards though. They'll give you the samples. I just like I said, my thing is always when I hear they're trying to match it up to that front door, it's I got this is how my brain works. You think about like what do they call it? Tip fishing, right? You know, when you're ice fishing and they got the flags that pop up. That's what goes in my head when I'm dealing with customer. It's just like green flag, yellow flag, red flag. And when I hear them say, I'm trying to match it to my front door, and I'm like, oh, it's like red, 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 red. And I'm just like, okay, so is this a custom door? Is this a door? Because people can, I've had customers spend over $10,000 for the front door. So it's like, we gotta match this puppy perfect. And I need all my ammunition because I sure as hell don't want to buy, because sometimes you buy two doors too, right? Maybe you got a 16 by 7, 18 by 8, whatever. And you have another door, 9 by 8, whatever, 10 by 8. So then I got two doors. So I mean, like we got to nail this thing. We got to nail it. And then you got to also consider the perimeter seal because some of them don't do perimeter seal. You got to figure that out. That's always another thing. Like what color perimeter seal? Do you want to go white with your siding? Which sometimes I don't really like because the white, if it's wavy, it can look against like a brown door. It can be a little, or do they offer a wood trim? One customer I went to for just a brown door, I couldn't decide. The guy goes, surprised us. Fudge that. I ain't surprising you. I said, I'll just order both. So I got both. And then when I was there, I had to make a decision too. And I told him, I think his name was Harold. I was like, Harold, so come out here and look at this with me. And I was like, what do you think? I already kind of looked at it and knew what I liked, and he liked what I liked. He's like, he goes, that brown looks a lot sharper. And I said, all right. I said, I agree. And of course, I was like, damn it. It's like, it's the rich B stuff, and I got to hand bang it now. So that's okay. But I want it to be nice. Visual displays. Yeah. Yep. They do help. Richard, Wilcox, Clope. There's a lot of samples to carry in a truck. Yeah. That's why you got to it's easier to have the customer narrow it down. I always kind of like to give customers three options, depending on what they're doing. If they're doing standard doors, kind of that's what I always just had in my price list, for non-insulated vinyl back, steel back. If they want fancy doors, the world is endless with that. So to me, it's like you find what you want, get some pictures of it or email me or however you want to do it, take some screenshots, send it to me. And then I typically would go across my vendors and find out who would be the best fit or who has that design or the closest color. And then I move forward with that. Sometimes it's a lengthy process, you know what I mean? But long as you're typically in communication, if you got a decent price, they want to work with you, you're okay. Some just are, I want it now, you know, and like I said, you got to be thinking, two steps ahead of them. So maybe you do get the door on order, right? Because they're just like, well, I don't want to wait 12 months or 12 weeks. Maybe you do get it on order. Get it on order. Get that sample coming as quick as possible. Hey, can you next day air it? Type of thing. Get it coming as fast as you can to try to get those variables out of there so you can get it to the customer. And the customer goes, God, that's not the color I was thinking. That's more brown than gold color. I don't think I like that. And you're like, oh, okay, vendor, I need to cancel that order. Yeah, the customer, their house blew away. We had a tornado, you know. Ooh, is that the same? Is that what was that one again? 9 by something, 9 by 7. Oh, okay. So yours is what? It's close 470. So these aren't bad, right? Torsion spring. So I mean, these are what 360. So that's not bad. I mean, they're a little cheaper. I mean, they'd be great if you had customers that need it. It's not a bad price. It's just it's hard because you can contaminate the well. When when there's workers, so it's hard to be like, oh, do we? You know, that's not a bad price. And get to the end of September. Steel crab says they can do color matching off a paint sample on their site. Steel crab, yeah. Maybe look into further and see if you're able to do that from a steel vendor. Yeah, it's it's that's those can be and these are great questions. These are great things to bring up. So that's I don't know how to explain. That's why like Clopay was really good because they had a lot of selection. They damn near if Clopay don't have it, nobody has it. But the problem, like I remember we had a customer. They wanted this. I forget why we wanted to do it. They had the True Choice color choice, True Choice color. Wayne Dalton was offering. I think it was like Sherman Williams True Choice color or something. And they got thinner doors on the 96,000, 9,000 series doors. And this customer wanted this like forest green. And I think I screwed up somewhere. I offered them because damn Wayne Dalton will put stuff in their brochures that they don't honor to certain locations. So I told him, I was like, we can do a forest green. I said, and do it in a 9600. And then I come to find out I couldn't. And they only offer the forest green like in a 83 or 8500. Well, that was a lot more money. So it was either I could give them better door or I could get the door painted. And it was really hard. Like they didn't want to paint the door. And I think it was because of the heat and it'd be a darker color. It could make the door flex or something. But they would do it. So they did it. They charged me like another $300, maybe some change, to paint this door. We got the door. Cool. Everything's great. And it was a weird size. It was like a 16 by 8 or something, a little bit taller. And I remember installing it. And I remember I'm putting like the weather seal on or something. I'm like looking at the door. I'm like, I literally thought a bird shit on me. Like I'm looking at the paint. And I'm like, it looks like splatter. Like so I'm like looking at my shoulders. I'm like, freaking bird. Checking my hat. Damn bird must have shit somewhere. It looked like a bird splatter. Like it hit and it splattered. And I'm like, what in the hell? And I'm looking closer and I'm like, oh, it's like almost like they painted it with a roller or their sprayer didn't get down in the dimples all the way. So there was this white little, I mean, smaller than a pencil tip, probably more like a needle. Just you could look at it and you could see all the spots that were white. And I was like, this store used to be white and they painted it green. And I was just like, I didn't do a very good job. And I thought, I wonder if it's because it was a True Choice or it wasn't manufactured that way or whatever. But I was always kind of like, that's a little concerning. Like, good luck, customer. So when you get to those high end doors, I can see why you want to charge more money. Even though you think a door is a door, but there's a lot more. You got to be more cautious with it. You got to be more careful with it. You got to, if it's got damage, you're going to have to come back. It just seems like they're just not as cookie cutter. You can't call the vendor and say, hey, I got a sandwich door that's got it. And they're like, we'll send you one next week. We got one on the shelf. No problem. Where this is a very special order and they just take their lovely sweet time. It seems like it's gotten worse ever since the syndrome. So it just seems like it takes way longer. Just use Walls brand desk printer around here. You can rent to office for 400 to 500 a month. Not bad. Not bad. I'd like to kind of add to it. I think that's a great point for Tanner. I don't know why. I still feel like in my heart, especially because like Tanner deals with bad weather conditions, winter. Cousin Evan deals with bad weather, winter. I still think if I was a young man, as of right now, if you ask me, this might change. I'm like Michigan, right? Give it 5 minutes, the weather changes. But if I was to be told, I would probably be, I would still probably, I might buy something real small. If I was doing a house or something, or a trailer park, or renting something, or if I could move into a buddy's basement type of thing. I don't know. I'd stay small, right? It's that whole thing: asset, liability, asset, liability, asset. I can hear you guys now. Asset puts money in your pocket. Liability takes money out of your pocket. And so my brain always looks at it and I go, if I was a young man still and I didn't have these kids and all, like I said, the house is a liability. Insurance, property tax, mowing, lawnmower, gas, everything. It costs money. And that stuff can wait. Work on the garden. You know what I mean? Work on the garden. Get the building, get the business growing. I would either just like even here, this place was a freaking nightmare. You know what I mean? It really, really made me understand how you don't own nothing. You know what I mean? I seen the building inspector drive by today. I went, oh, fudge. Hope you don't see that container out there. It's really crappy how much you don't own. That's why they keep telling you, you will own nothing and you'll be happy. We still don't own a lot of stuff. Think about all the cars and subscriptions and all the music and Hulu and Netflix that you all pay for subscription for, right? We don't, security cameras, ring cameras. Uh, Basically, that's why LiftMaster is doing the same thing. Probably Genie, everybody, is getting on board to a subscription, right? Oh, you want to use the camera? Got to pay us, right? We'll give you a crappier product, and now you got to pay us monthly. I mean, that's what they're trying to do. Milk you for $1, $5. It's only $1. Come on, come on. It's only $1. Yeah, well, dollar here, dollar here. Shoot, next thing you know, you're $1,000 a month in dollars here. But anyway, I still like those man caves. We got a lot of man caves. I like the fact that you could have somebody. You got a big building that looks kind of professional. You could put your name on the door, or whatever. And you got somewhere to work on your own vehicle. You got somewhere to store doors. You can, the ones around us have really tall ceilings. Tall ceilings is like a must. You got so many options. I seen a picture the other day. Somebody had all their doors stacked up, and I was like, man, lucky dogs. I was like, they can have all their doors stacked up against the wall. You know, um, I just think you got a lot of options. You're commercial, so the vendor shouldn't complain too much. Because that's always one thing I always wondered about. Like I always thought, hey, you know what? There's property down the street that has just windows, and you always think about it's like, it'd be kind of nice. And I'm not saying it would be horrible, but what do you do with it? All it is office. So you either just have people meet you there, um, and I guess you could have, but you could still do a display. I think inside a bigger man cave or whatever, and then you got a drain. If you want to wash your vehicle. Uh, yeah, I just think you could do so much more. You could put a lift in there. You might not be able to bolt it. Maybe they have restrictions, but you could at least get one of those 4 posts that runs around on wheels. How nice would that be if you want to work on your own vehicle or it's getting iced up over the winter because you're just running hard? I've been through all of that crap. You know what I mean? I remember coming home just so busted up, tired, and for God's sake, the second ladder up, bam, hit the header of my garage. Just out there, just flailing the arms because it's 8, 9 o'clock at night, just super tired. Wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. And I just like, I would never. I already built an 18 by 8, and I'm like, next one's going to be 10 foot tall. You know, now I look at it, it's like, go 16 feet tall. Samples that used to show the quality difference of Clopay. Color samples from each of one. Just have 3 door samples to show difference between pan, vinyl. Yeah, sandwich doors. That's a great idea, Rich. That really is. Especially for the generic stuff, you know what I mean? And like you said, if you got the color samples, it gets a start, it gets you close. It's just that when they lock in, and that's that weird wood grain, they're trying to match it to that front door and it's a real high end place. I'm always like, ooh, like I start getting like, we better get you a sample. Just get a sample. Let me order you a sample so we're all on the same page. But yeah, that's a good idea. I used to do that. It was nice. You could, especially vinyl back, you could always kind of with your fingernails. People were like, that seems kind of cheesy. We did carry some and they get beat up. That, it was always kind of weird because like when you did want it, you bring them out and they're always kind of scuffed up and you're like, it's just been riding around the truck a little bit, a little dirty, but this is basically it. And some people kind of liked it. Some people kind of like went like, ooh, like that's not how my door is going to look, is it? Is it my door going to scratch up like that? Like, oh, is it going to get dirty like that? So it's always kind of like you got to keep refreshing the sample. I can see why that's in the business why people always have like there's a salesperson, they got the nice vehicle, they do all the and then they got their technicians that come, so stuff can stay clean because it's tough. It's tough being the salesperson, being the technician to install. It's it's hard. It's hard wearing different hats like that. Uh, ooh, rain style. That rain style be pretty. Do 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 do. Match front door, northern door. Then I tell them get the front door and garage door so they match. Ooh, that's a good idea. Yeah, because that's and Clopay was doing that, right? And then they don't do that anymore because Clopay was doing man doors, I believe. But then you know how that goes. Like, like for me, I don't even want to deal like, because then what are they, they're gonna ask me, like, well, you can install the front door too? No, I don't want to install your front door. Front doors are worse things I ever dealt with. I hate man doors. Absolutely hate them. It takes such a craftsman to do them and to make them right, and they're high hand operated. You know how much you can manipulate a garage door? You're like, hey, this isn't balanced out too good. Yeah, let's crank up the force settings a little bit. It's good. I have only two jobs and 16 years with rain glass. Yeah. Use the metal perimeter seal down there. I don't know. That's a good question. Never seen it. Never seen. I mean, we've seen it for commercial. That metal stuff. I think that strut. I still would like to find one of those struts from cousin Evan. I was looking for them because I thought, well, maybe they're more like you could put them in a vehicle without having a strut. Like I'm always looking for the way to compact a torsion tube without having the stuff on your truck, the full solid one. Every time I try to think of it, I go, it's a hell of a lot of work to re-engineer it to make it, where it's just like put a tube on your truck or put a torsion tube, a couple struts. Do you find that black? The door on your garage gets less hot as standard black doors. Because it rusts? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. The metal seems like it's got to be looking not so finished. You know what I mean? I assume our seal looks more finished, the vinyl stuff. Do, 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 do. My second this year. The tinner, I have standard black to compare. They stay cool because they are R18. That's a good R value. Evan's kind of since we get aluminum perimeter retainers and it can add up. Actually, just did it. Some charcoal doors, perimeter seal, shrunk up. Whoops, shrunk up and waved all to hell. Interesting. Yeah, it does seem like aluminum is really expensive for us. I mean, I remember I've had to get bottom retainers, the ones that like be an L shape or U shape for certain customers for their bottom of the door, and it's like how much? It's $10 a foot or something. It's like, damn. It's like, all right. Second time, 2 years. Slid in black vinyl or rubber seal into the slot. Okay, so it sounds like almost like commercial. Yeah, I mean that metal stuff. Even our commercial customers, it's sometimes it all like pops and waves, and it's just what are you gonna do? We got one that's a DPW. I wanted to put vinyl. Of course, they need brown. So brown And I thought, well, maybe if we put brown, you'd have a bigger surface area to drill because you got to drill in some's metal, some's concrete, then back to metal or whatever. And then I thought, then you could just trim nail your weather seal because it seems like the seal always goes bad. Like it's always ripping and hanging. And it's like, then you could just go through like a residential, just pull it all down, replace it with new vinyl, and you could trim nail it, because it's got the piece of vinyl. And if somebody hits it, oh well, they hit a chunk, just cut that piece out, put another chunk of vinyl, PVC in there. If you can find brown, I haven't done much. I don't know if we can get brown, especially solid. I know you can get white. I forget what to call that stuff. I'm drawing a blank. They sell it at like Lowe's. They got like 2 inch or 3 inch and 4 inch or 6 inch. Um, why am I drawing a blank on that? I always buy that stuff for rentals and shit. But I just thought that'd be easier. And then you could just drill it. You'd have to probably drill it twice, which suck. But I figured if you put the initial work in, it's just done for the future because it seems like they've had an energy company put stuff in. We've tried to put stuff in. Their clip mount seal always falls off. It's always a bear to put on by yourself. Where a perimeter seal like residential, not a problem, man. I can knock that out in no time just by myself and a scissor lift. Choose a high if you added to price. Had a phone call. Whoops. Had a phone call for a commercial man door today. Oh, man door. Yeah. Yeah. The man doors, at least for us, this one guy swore he got them out of Chicago, but I could never find them. And we were getting them from our vendors, and these things were expensive. I mean, like the door handle. Can you see this one? I mean, like these door handles back here, they're like back in the day when I was buying, they're like 300-400 bucks. This man door, probably 1,200 bucks. Um, they're a whole different animal. And they're so finicky, and you got to deal with people walking through, and then people don't want the mess, and then the noise, and it was something that was never like it just felt like you could never train somebody, to do that kind of work. They were just difficult. And it just seemed like you could never put enough on them because you were paying so much for the material. Because I remember we did some man doors. We had a guy at Home Depot that was telling people about us, and I remember mine was a flat rate. So I pretty much like would double the price, and then they'd be like, "Well, I mean, like Home Depot will do it for this." I'm like, "They will," but I was like, "If you need a threshold, they won't do trim." I was like, "I'm including everything, so it's just a one package deal. There's no extra unless obviously I find really bad rot." I said or something, but this is it, and they kind of like that because then they were just like, "Oh, okay, I get it." Like I'm locked in versus, if they come in, they're going to charge you $80 for that threshold. They're going to charge you another 120 for trim. So but it was just, you have to be in people's, I don't know, just, I don't know, like you got kids and dogs and I don't know. Had a collar on, torsion tube, assuming two, separate tubes. Might be. Not too easy to do metal. Yeah. Yeah, metal frame. Steven's here. What's up, Steven? Change a gear kit. Hell, I didn't even know we did that anymore. I haven't done a gear kit. Feels like forever. Travel modules seem pretty common. And customer went to get check my back pocket and was in there. Yeah, made a rookie mistake. Oh man, absolutely. Got to grease it up. Oh, service ring has the brown weather seal. Well, you got to remember, I'm trying to. So I'm like, I got my perimeter seal right with the rubber on it, but I'm looking for either I got to go. I could probably go jumbo. That's if it's thick enough. I could go jumbo, but my thought process was, well, maybe right if we put jumbo on there, we put jumbo, and if we could get brown,
We put that up there and it was thick enough, good thickness. And then the seal goes bad over the time. Then we could just take another brown perimeter seal, like a residential, go over the PVC and just shoot into it. That might not be a bad idea. I'm just looking for something that's easy for the future. It just seems like we're constantly fighting that seal. Like the one company coming, I think it was Johnson's Control, and they came in and did a big energy efficient thing years ago, probably 6 years ago. And they put all the aluminum and all the rubber everywhere, and all of it's gone and ripped or hanging and looks like garbage. And they want us to seal the building up for wintertime. And it's like, do we go through and just replace all the rubber? Possibly, which we might. Um, or do we, because the retainer's still there, or but some of it's gotten nicked and pinched, and so you gotta it just seems like residential is the easiest. If you could just pop it off, bam, 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 shoot new stuff up for the future. If you already had PVC there, because you got to remember we got concrete, then we got metal. So you got to, but it seems like if you just took the time and put the PVC on, a good thick PVC, like almost like deck boards, but they got to be solid, not those hollow ones. Be solid, and then then you could caulk it. Might caulk it if you get a little wave to it, just to really seal it. Plus, that way when they're you just don't get that light when they're inside, because that's always the thing, right? If people see light, that's always the big. Normally, they're going to be whatever 14.2 or 16.2 for width. They're going to overlap, but if they can see light around the corner, and obviously, yeah, I get it, it's letting in air and stuff, and they're heating it. But it just if we could put the PVC just to stack that, so the damn employees could rip it off with their mirrors. It's been a while. Burke, how you been? You been doing good? Oh man. Evan been a Midland does not separate the tubes unless it's a center coupler. Must have easy set collar. Yeah, easy set collar thing. Probably. Probably. Who knows? You know what I mean? You know how it goes. Maybe somebody did a conversion, that's what they had. Maybe a rookie did it. Maybe that was existing. They changed out door sections. They do all kinds of crazy stuff. I still remember the weirdest one we went to. It was an emergency call. So I grabbed the Wifetron. We go down there. It's broken spring. No big deal. We're doing it. And the lady goes, yeah. And the stickers on the door are not matching up either. I'm looking at him like, man, this door's not even a year old yet. And the springs look kind of newer. And I'm like, I'm sitting there thinking she must run like a detail business or an oil change business out of her garage. And I'm like, how did the springs not even make it a year? And you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing like the traffic. I'm like, what gives? And then she comes out and she goes, yeah, she goes, we had a door dasher hit the door last year. And I'm like, okay. And then she's like, so they changed out all the sections. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, okay, now that makes sense. They changed out the sections. They didn't change out the track and all this stuff. Okay, that's why we got a broken spring. Oh, okay. Because I'm already like kind of shaking, going, man, I don't know if I should like tell her, be like, ma'am, for an extra few dollars, would you like to upcycle your springs? Like, because I don't want to put them on, and then mine don't last a year. And she's calling, going, these things aren't even lasting. I'm like, what are you doing with your garage door? Do you lay in bed at night and hit the button up and down, like listen to the noise of it? What are you doing? Was an oddball size. Ugh. Ugh. 19.5 by 7. Ugh. Yeah, cog it. Not speaking. Been here up and down. Yeah, it's kind of it seems like the residential is kind of flatlined a little bit around this neck of the woods. Um, I think like I've always said, I always think we're kind of the bellwether, the Michigan a little bit, and I think the inflation is starting to take effect to some people. We're, basically up, we're almost up to $6, 5.80 or something for diesel. Um, Gas went back up, so I think we're sitting right about 438, 440. Um, So stuff's just getting so like anything you can hang on that's used, I've turned a lot. And we've had a lot of people come in here and just buying stuff, trying to fix stuff on their own. And we've also just like used stuff. That seems like that's just getting scooped up. I put something up, I think a 9x7. And I mean, I must have had, like 26 people message me within like a day, and I was just like, holy cow. So I think they're changing a little bit. It's kind of that back to school. Everybody's trying to figure that out. We're going to be starting to hit the season where people are going to have to start saving some money for the Christmas. Um, so we'll see. When we hit the fall, we got that midterm. So I don't know if they're going to play their games and get our gas prices lower. So we'll vote whatever way we vote, and then go from there. And then they'll sock it to us again. I'm not really sure, but we still have a lot of stuff in the pipeline. The board's still full over there. A lot of the like I always say, the WAR stuff. So they're spending money like crazy. So that's been really keeping things really busy. I think they still got 2 weeks probably with one job, and they got some more they're tearing out. So they probably got probably about another 3 months of work, and that's probably all of 2 to 3 guys, maybe 4. So they're staying pretty busy with that, and then they still got that one down south. I think they're going to tackle at some point. So, but residential, there's stuff that's been ordered, but I definitely don't hear the phone ringing like it was, and I don't hear the radio chatter with like, "Hey, we got somebody," as much fluctuation, broken spring or something. Just it seems like things have kind of just quiet down. It's weird how it's very emotional. It's kind of like the stock market. They say stock market is just on emotions. It's not even really on real facts, just emotions. So it seems like that works weather-wise, or so. Like to me, right now is the time to hunker down. It's time to get everything started getting winterized. Once you hit September, you got September. And so what I always tell myself is September is still pretty dry, so you get stuff oiled up, you get your vehicles undercoated, oiled, get your pumps, your wells, get everything. Because when October hits, if you want to go hunting, there's hunting season. And then then you got to deal with leaves, you got to deal with wetness, a lot more rain. Um, a lot of things are just, if you're trying to get stuff done, trying to get all the roofs tidied up, been trying to think about anything that needs to get done before winter hits. Do, 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 do. 333. Yeah, it's about where we're at. About I think it's 348 is what I see. I heard somebody say it went up. I think it was. Oh no, I'm sorry. It was four something. So that's a hell of a deal. I'm coming down, getting some gas. I've seen doors pick up. Well, that's good. That's good. For this week, nice. I think it's Benton Harbor. I think is where they're going for that one. They might. We still haven't. I guess the GC is kind of they got to get electricians that are. So I thought this was going to happen like 2 weeks ago, and so they didn't. So it's just kind of a. I guess they're going to wait till the GC calls and starts crying, which probably won't be the best for him because I think Cap is taking some time off. I think he's got like a week, so of course that'll compound things. I think then one of the secretaries is taken, so that'll be another pickup for you know. It doesn't take much. You start losing. You get a few people that take some time off, man, and all of a sudden it just seems like that's when it wham, man. It's just like you're like, where was this when you had a full crew? Hey, and now you're just getting slammed, and the phone's ringing, and you're like, you can't keep up. That's just how it goes. But it's like holidays. I still for some reason don't really care for the holidays, especially being ever since in business, I've never the holidays gotten ruined in my opinion because it seems like everything gets condensed because you got a shorter week. Whatever the last day is, it's just like a regular week, right? A Friday realistically is nothing. You know what I mean? Like Friday is like you might as well just have one job. Nobody wants to work. Everybody wants to go home early. Everybody's thinking about the weekend. So Friday's almost just shot. I was just listening to a guy, I forget what he was talking about. He's like, maybe we should just do 4 day work weeks. I thought that'd be great for like certain sectors, but then the rest of it can't. Not the banks, not the anything else, because it'd be nice for all the contractors and stuff like that. How great for your workers and stuff to be able to be, well, I got to take the day off. No, let the dentists be open. Everybody, the grocery stores. Now they got Friday, they can go to the dentist. Maybe they want to take so much, maybe sick days or whatever. They could schedule that day for whatever. Going to dentist, Social Security, Secretary of State. I don't know, but I thought that'd be nice for them. But then I figure everybody else it'd be like the same thing. All the municipalities want to be closed, so I thought, well, that ain't gonna work so good. You know, they're doing a couple barrier arms with some loops, but the loops might get changed to those sensors, which we kind of hope. So we just had problems again. um, I was, I was, I was talking to Cap about it today, and I was talking about Tanner, and I said, well, I know Tanner, and he goes, I would never. He said, I would never install LiftMaster. He goes, I said, well, he just went back to another one, and he was saying, he goes, that barrier arm. He's sitting there counting it to me, and he goes, it's got three circuit boards. Oh, nope. He goes, it's got four. And he goes, the one already went bad within a year. He said LiftMaster wouldn't cover it. He said, then of course it turned into, and they both have to be the same version. So he said, we had to change both boards, not one, both. I think it was either $700 or $1,200 for both those boards, because he had one and they were sitting here, and he goes, well, one of the boards is probably still good, but it has to be the same version. I said, oh, forget that. I said, just throw it away. And I did ask him about the terminals. I said, "Are the terminals? Can you pull the terminals like you can on a linear?" He goes, "You can," but he said, "I normally have to force them off pretty hard." And I said, "Oh, okay." And I was just trying to think of some stuff, that was, and I said, I mentioned that I said, what I do like about the linear is I said, I typically can diagnose them, and I said, I can fix them without tech support. And we just did a 12-year-old unit that we could still get boards for, no problems. And where I know Cap's gone to two. One was for a DPW. One, I don't know where the other one was at. And he said they would not give him tech support because that model's too old. They don't support it anymore. And it wasn't that old. I don't think it was. It wasn't over 10 years. And I'm just like, what? What? I'm like, yeah. I said, Then we were talking about the cabinets, and I even talked. The other guy was there, and he goes, it is nice that they have the door so you can kind of block the weather, because we get in some spots that have some pretty harsh winds, and so it was nice to cover yourself. Gate operators are different animals. They're crazy. So these are barrier arms. I don't know. I think these are like door. There's some different brand for door barrier arms. Supposedly Linear is not making swing gates. That's the rumor I heard. I haven't verified that. Do, 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 do. Whoa. Gas is 5.79 per gallon. Wow. Yeah, 24/7, 365. Yeah, absolutely. So Evan, have you have you seen, is that like, is there anything you've noticed up in Canada that's been kind of impacted by just anything? I don't know what, tariffs to have you seen, has it, like, has it affected your family? I mean, do you guys kind of watching? Are you guys, like, we got a Ford dealership down here, and it is flooded. I went down there earlier today. I think I was grabbing lunch or something, and I'm just looking, and it's just pickup truck, pickup truck, pickup truck, pickup truck, pickup truck. And I'm just like, holy cow. And these are all used. I mean, it's like a quarter mile of just used pickup trucks. And then I think about, because I told the wife, Tron, I said, damn, I said, you need a truck. I said, time to buy a truck. And she goes, Well, yeah, she goes, probably with all the higher gas prices, people are unloading their trucks. I was like, that's a damn good point. And so they had some SUVs and some other stuff there, but now it's just all pickup trucks. I'm just like, holy cow, look at all the pickup trucks. And I'm just, and like I said, I'm oblivious to this stuff because I don't know if it's just you're in business. It's like that whole thing when people are like, well, what kind of gas mileage? They go, what kind of gas mileage do you get? And I'm like, I don't know, shitty. You know, it's a truck, it's a van. It's just like it doesn't get very good. It just we just use it for work, and I don't drive it around for a grocery getter. So I don't know. It gets bad gas mileage. I really haven't checked on that. I haven't verified that. So I just wonder if there's anything up in Canada that you're possibly seeing. You're like, meat jumped extremely, or food went up, or they put a tax on something from the um, fast food, or the gas is really getting to be. You're seeing a lot of people less driving. I've noticed that the traffic does seem a little bit more down, like on Apple Avenue. Um, I know meat was high. I didn't think it was that high to get Mr. T involved and have him import from another country or whatever they're doing. It's kind of goofiness to me. Oh, um, GM shutting down the truck line for 2 weeks. Yeah, I thought I heard. I don't know what it was on Car Edge. I don't know if they were talking about one of the major threes, or it was another like Volvo or something like that that was going to like let go of like 2,500 people or something. It was a pretty big number, and they were explaining that they were building a lot of electric cars and those weren't so good. Damn, 24 Dr Pepper cans. It's almost 20. Dang. I know this might not work for some people. Um, let's see what Tanner's got here. Yeah, it would be better if it went down, but just keep rolling. Hopefully it comes. Yeah, it comes down. So just something for. I don't know if I don't know anything about this, but I wanted to at least put it out there. It's kind of off subject, but um, I ordered a couple things through Home Depot, and I don't know if they're up in their game. I've seen this a little bit. It seems like with like Lowe's and possibly Home Depot. So ordered some remotes, ordered got the new Genie keypad. Let me go grab it. I'll go grab it. We'll check it out. I think I got it. Let me go grab it. Stand by. Oh, it's dark out here. There we go. Anyways, I'm kind of excited to hopefully try out this keypad because, well, I should say I've had trouble with my own. Oh, I couldn't really find them very easily. I'm assuming LiftMaster makes their own. I don't see no blowback really. Why not? We've been selling, what do you call it? Remotes out the door, and I guess this is like the new style, right? So you got the new Universal Chamberlain, and it supposedly it's compatible with. It's got Chamber, LiftMaster, Craftsman, Genie, blah 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 blah, Rainer, Guardian, Performax. So that's a lot. Do It, Garage Master, Master Mechanic, Moromatic, Sommer, True Value. Okay. So I mean it's got all these lists of openers, right? So that's awesome. Whatever, 40, 45 bucks. Easy, right? Better than 60, 80 bucks. Um, but this stuff came, ordered it. I bet within 4 hours, it showed up at the doorstep. I couldn't believe it. And it had the sticker. It looked like, so I'm assuming it came actually from the store. I thought they were going to send it, just, package it, come from a warehouse. Within 4 hours, this was delivered to the doorstep. I thought, holy shnikes. Like, that is super fast. This is the new Genie, which I didn't even know existed. So I hope that this will be a little bit. This is from Home Depot. So thank you for one of the subscribers for mentioning this. I didn't even know this existed. So we will give this a try because we've been having problems. Huh, very cylinder like. Wow, it looks better than what I seen online. It's actually got the nice Genie logo on it, so that's cool. It's got kind of the it's got the screws up there like normal Genie style. That's cool. It's got a cover. Oh, those LiftMaster fanboys can't have a cover. Ooh, cover feels pretty nice. Kind of got a little spring loaded to it. Keep it up for you. When I seen this online, I didn't really think I liked it. Looking at it right now, I'm not sure if I still like it. But oh yeah, it's just normal. I just hope it works better. That's my big thing. Let's see what it does. Does it light up? Is it battery operated? Right out of the box. Maybe they got the freshness. They do. I love that Genie does this. This is one thing. We have stuff sometimes that sits or gets stashed in a vehicle or just gets squirreled away because we don't do good inventory rotation. And this is right here to keep them fresh. I can't tell you how many LiftMaster remotes I have that are dead. So that's awesome. Let's pull the freshness tab. And it lit up. Looks like it's a nice color too. I thought I seen it. Are we lighting up or am I just losing my brain here? Does it light up? Did I hit it wrong? There it goes. Maybe it's got to do some kind of programming. Oh, it looks high tech. I don't know what I did. Now I'm hoping that this one has it built in that you can hit this and it'll shut the door automatically. Wouldn't that be nice? Like LiftMaster? I can't tell you how many times I got to punch the number and then hit it to close it. Kind of drives me nuts. So I'll have to learn how to program this. It seems like it's not lighting up unless it wants to be programmed. Was it that one? There we go. Hit that again. What's that do? Nothing. Oh, turned red even. So this will be interesting. The buttons feel pretty good. They're nice and big. I like that for big fat fingers. So interesting. Didn't even know it existed. So pretty cool. I like the freshness. Energizer, good brand for batteries. Got your normal. So this is pretty sweet. I'm pretty excited about this. I just hope it works and not so glitchy like the other ones. So hopefully they improved it. I'll let you know when I get installed and if it works any better because the other ones, not too impressed with. And what's nice, the old classic Genie, which I like, works with any Genie IntelliCode openers manufactured since 1995. The only way you'll ever get that with LiftMaster if you get obviously a universal, but their new stuff, Genie is very good about keeping their stuff, um, you know, in the same hemisphere, in the same lane. Replacement for any existing telecode wireless keypad system on a Genie residential garage door includes wireless keypad, 2 batteries, AAA hardware. Allows access to garage door without need of key. Intel security code access controls up to 3 Genie IntelliCode openers. Ooh, I've never done that. I'm always a 1 keypad per door. Keep it simple. Let's see what we got here. Gas mileage, I know. I'm eating the tariffs on their end. Clopaz. Better mileage. I'm trying to convince the wife to let me get a 20 Ford Ranger, do a VI diesel swap, get 30 miles to a gallon. There you go. That'd be freaking awesome. Heck yeah, it would be. Tanner, did you ever sell the diesel van? Is the diesel van gone now? We have been importing beef South America for a long time. You just don't want it from Mexico. Don't drink the water, Mexico. Just did the Genie one today. It has a door. Ooh, I know. for me runs about 75. Yeah, I couldn't, it was weird. I couldn't find the LiftMaster. So I was just like, whatever. I was like, we're just going to just, because I had a guy, I had to throw it away. I don't know what happened. I had a UT go bad. Um, I've been trying to hoard those because it's the old style. It's got the dip switches, and he brought one in. That was kind of the old style. It was Chamberlain. Mine was LiftMaster, and they're getting old. So I had one that was bad. I had to go back out to the truck. I grabbed another one. That one worked, but same thing, because I don't have the freshness tab. I'm like, I don't know how good the battery is in this. So, please don't call me in 2 days and say the battery it's not working anymore because the battery probably died. So, but I gave it to him, and so I want to have a couple. What I want to do is I want to get some universal. I like to have like a universal Genie keypad. This one's not universal. Get a universal Genie, get a universal Chamberlain, and then have some of these universals because you just get people that want them. And I just hate carrying 20 different remotes. Yeah, it does. That thing does light up nice. It's got nice. It's the buttons feel different and feel good. So it's just as long as it. I was talking to one of the guys that comes here in the morning, and he was saying he was like, yeah, he's like, man, I had to enter it in, and I told him, I said the end door. I said I pushed it so many times I could never get it to open. I went around, I pushed the wall button, door ran. I go back out to use the keypad, it shuts the door. I'm like what gives? Is the keypad? Is it the head? And then he's like, well, what if the lights? And I said, I wasn't even in the shop yet. I said, it was totally dead. I said, so it ain't a light issue. Does the keypad have one button to close? I'm assuming that it does. I'm hoping it does. We'll see once we get it programmed. I'm gonna try it. Let's see if this says anything. Cover. Flip up keypad cover. It tells you right here. They're insulting the LiftMaster. It says flip up keypad cover protects against the weather. Imagine that. So if you live in bad climates, you need a cover to protect you against the weather. That's why we want covers. Do 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 do. Ooh, set it to a Tesla, customer's Tesla. That'd be interesting. Oh, it does. Rich is confirming. Sweet. So it does have the one button. That'd be nice because I got one I use, and it's like I'm always like I was literally going to buy another battery operated wall button and put it inside the jam because I got so sick of always typing in the number and then have to hit the button. And sometimes I wouldn't get it because I'd be in a rush. And I'm like, "Ugh," I'm like, I just need the door to go down. And so the one button would be really nice. Oh yeah, that's where it's going to go. I know which one has the biggest problem here at the shop, that far back door. So I figure that's why we'll put this on here or on it to test it, and then maybe we'll replace. And it's just crummy because now what do you do with the keypads? If this solves the problem, do you try to sell them? Try to get 20, 40 bucks out of them? Do you just throw them away? Do you give them to a customer? Say, look, this thing might be glitchy, but you can just have it. I don't know. You know what I mean? Now, what do you do if Genie's not including these into their new openers, which I don't know if they are. Hopefully, they start bringing these over if they're better. So you try to swap them out, and I got to charge. You got to add another $42. I think this was $42 to their bill and swap it out, and they don't know. And then what do you do with the old one? Sell it on eBay? Send it up to Canada? Getting callbacks for keypads? I never got callbacks for keypads except for the batteries dying. Seemed like the winner would always kill the batteries. I don't know about the new styles, like the Chamberlain or the LiftMaster ones, being exposed. I do know we have a lot of problems with keypads for gate operators, and a really good solution. I learned it from a storage unit guy. He almost take like a floor mat, something that's a soft rubber that will mold, and he would just put a rubber, cut a chunk of rubber, put over it for a little dome. Then he'd take a hose clamp and put around it, and that worked pretty good. Just keeps enough of the rain, that freezing rain, off the buttons because the buttons will get frozen and freak out. The AK-11s are really good, but the other ones they used to have, they don't have those anymore. Those had a little bit more glitches to them, more problems. Any callbacks? Yes, sir. Well, maybe we'll get to about 10:30 and we'll start wrapping her up. And if we don't get nothing too crazy in, like I said, it's that roof kind of whooped my hiney a little bit today. It got a little slimy. I had to get the old fall protection, the tree rigging stuff out. So I had to tie off to the fence to the neighbors. Why would I want an old keypad? Yeah, it's like for those ones that you get, like we get people in sometimes, they're looking for like rollers or something, and or something for a freebie, and that's where you just kind of go, hey, unfortunately around here we're really programmed, and I really encourage a lot of people to do it. We always do two remotes, outside keypad, and light bulbs. And that just seems like that solves. I can't tell you how many people I used to go to over the years, and they'd be like, you hand them one remote, and they're like, only one? In the store, it shows two. And I'm like, yeah, ours are the professional grade, so ours always come. Well, what about a second one? And it's like, and then you're trying to match them up, or, well, why is this one a one button? This is a three button, and well, I want one for each door. Oh, yeah, there's nothing worse. Those are those little caveat things that kill you. So that's why I'm always big about you know, uh, two remotes, outside keypad. I remember I look at it now, and I thought it was silly when I was younger. I don't care if you got two doors, three doors, four doors, five doors. I tell you what, if it was my place, I'd have keypads. I don't think you would, but I tell you, as you get older and you start having kids and you start having cars and you start having projects and wave runners or motorcycles or whatever, I can't tell you how many times I go up to a door and it'd be like, damn, it'd be nice to have a keypad on this, and you don't use it that much. But it'd be nice to have even just a designated, like, I don't want to program three things to this. I just want to go to that keypad, hit a number. The number could be all the same. I don't care. And it opens this door. You know what I mean? Because maybe you don't have a man door. Maybe you're out mowing the grass. Maybe you're um, whoever, somebody showed up and they just need to get into that stall. Maybe it's the kids or a wife or whatever. It's just, that's why I'm always like, nope, I could care less. Customer pays for it. I don't care what happens. I don't care if the technician, the sub, customer, they throw it in a ditch, they throw it in the garbage can, get paid for it, it's yours. Um, and you just do what you want. If they don't want it, we'd had one recently that the one, because it was on a nice brown door, he thought the LiftMaster ones looked gaudy. He's just like, I don't want that white thing on there. He's like, he actually came up with an idea. If he comes up with it, I told him, I said, that'd be a really good thing. I'd be interested in it. He's talking about having his buddy make 3D print a cover for it, so it doesn't look so gaudy. He just said, he's like, I do not want that on my trim. He goes, man, whatever it is, a $1.2 million house, and he's like, no, he's like, that keypad. He says looks. He goes, it looks like it belongs, like it's a remote or something. I said, I know. I said, that's why I didn't put it on. I said, I just felt the same way. So I just wanted your blessings before I put hole in your siding. Consumer supplied. It had two remotes and a keypad. Nice. Nice. The two button remotes. The two button remotes. I don't know what Genie's got I know they got rid of the one. I'm trying to think of what the two button remote looks like. Because I got a visor, it's got a three button. Then I got the one that's like the cylinder look, that's a three button stacked. Oh, I wonder if they got another wall button design. Huh. Interesting. I was just trying to see if I had one. Yeah, there's these. This is all I know of right here. There's a couple over here. Maybe you can call it out, Rich. You can say gray button or black button. This is all I ever knew that Genie had so far. Because this style is new to me. This one right here, and I couldn't tell you if I'm a fan of it or not. I like that they got a better LED on here. You know, and then this is the old style I'm used to, which always has that weird little LED. If you're ever programming these, best thing you can ever do if you're a new guy is go slow. They won't rapid fire as fast as a LiftMaster, so you got to watch that. There's a little LED in there. It's really hard to see. That's why I'm always telling them the way I've always taught technicians is I say when you're doing this stuff, it's not a click. I said it's not a click. It's a pulse, and then you release. It's almost like casting. You know what I mean? You got to send the signal, pull back, wait a second. Send the signal, pull back, wait. Send the signal, pull back, and wait. It's not click, click, because I watch guys do it all the time. They'll be with, and they're just sitting there and they're like, click. And I'm like, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't rapid fire that. You gotta go slow. Put these back up there. Oh, I looked around. It looks like you got it from Lowe's. Oh, interesting. Did it kind of have the piece together crappy rail? I'm assuming. You know, the one that doesn't lock together like a Chamberlain for that one, Rich. Like I said, always just trying to find the cleanest shirt in the dirty laundry basket. Does Genie have it made? Absolutely not. But I do like to see this that they're trying because I think they know there's keypads, something's up with it. I could be wrong. Hopefully it takes care of it. I thought it was weird. I couldn't really find any LiftMaster. So I don't know if LiftMaster even makes universal remotes that look like this. I've never programmed one of these yet. So I'm not quite sure how you even get it in program mode. And normally, LiftMaster style, they're getting very good. Let's open this one up, shall we? They're getting very good with not sending instructions, which really just burns me. Yep, and this one has got the clip. Don't you love the unboxing? Oh, the remote's actually kind of small. I thought it was a little bit bigger. Not too bad. Instructions? No. Um. Oh, I see more Spanish on here, so. But yeah, so QR code, and it's on the back of the unit or something, right? The back of what? Oh, it's that lovely little thing that you got to try to scan. Oh, interesting. Thanks, Chamberlain. Thanks for the working man out in the field. Thanks for all the hard blue collar Americans, all the farmers that built this land. Are you a true American? Because I don't support the shit. I'm sorry. It gets me fired up because we don't always have self service. And I remember Mr. Caleb ran into a problem. He called me and he was trying to program one of these. And he's like, it's not programming. And I'm like, you got to use this. And he goes, I have no service. He goes, I can't link up. And I'm like, okay, let me try it. And I'm at the store. I said, I'm actually at the store right now. I said, let me look at it. I open it up. It's got that. And I'm like, fudge. So then I got to get on my phone and start looking for it, right? And then he's telling me, he goes, I got like 2% on my phone. He goes, then he's going, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get out of here because I won't have instructions. I'm like, I don't even know what to say. You know what I mean? It's like you got 2%, your phone's about ready to die. You don't know if you can even get out of there. And you don't have instructions. He's getting really upset. And I'm thinking, they could have charged me another 10 cents, another 50 cents. I'd pay it to have instructions. I mean, they could even put on here, we have to charge you an extra 50 cents for instructions. Fine, fine. I'm an adult. I'm an adult. That's what always gets me about these car manufacturers. Like, why can't we ever go to a car manufacturer and on this side they got the cheaper models? And the guy goes, and you go, what's over there? What's those? And he goes, well, those are about $5,000 or $10,000 more. I don't know if you want to spend that. I'd be like, yeah, let me take a look at it. And you open up the engine bay, and everything's plumbed really nice. You can see there's actually drain plugs. There's actually dipstick tubes for the working man. You know what I mean? For like the real blue collar man. And you're like, yeah, I think I like this. And, well, it's gonna be another $5,000. That's okay. I see the value, right? But no, no. Instead, we have no dipsticks. We have electronic oil levels that are going to fail. We have big screens that they got rid of the knobs because the screen's cheaper that don't work, and you're sitting there pushing the button. You know, can't get a can't get a cover anymore. You know, you will own nothing, and you will like it. You will have no cover, and you will obey. Oh, they do make a version. Nice. Um, three piece. Oh, okay, three-piece U channel. Three-piece U channel. So what was it? A screwdriver? Must have been a screwdriver. Opener. All the bells and whistles. Customer wants something similar to 2.0. They replace Stanley Silent Glide on the small door they wanted. Nice. Nice. Oh yeah, better for you to YouTube. What's up, PT? Uh, yeah, it probably would be, but I mean, you know how it is. When you think about it, you ain't got no service. Your phone's about ready to die, and then you got to get the phone call. You know what I mean? As a businessman, as a technician, as an employee, to a business owner, to all that stuff, and you're just like on the phone. And you're just like don't even know what to say. You're like, what, what? And they're just like, there's no instructions, and I can't download. And you're like, and the customer's not home, so I don't have their Wi-Fi password. Everything you gave me was negative. How am I supposed to make lemons or lemonade out of these lemons? They're rotten. Remotes. Oh, 1K. Send me a link to basic one remote chain, code install opener, and then he liked. Tony, you can hide it in the corner. Let's higher cost opener with all the bells and whistles. Yeah. PT. And Uncle Dave are doing good. Over there. Back to Nora over there. Rich. Yeah, I thought they said what, Tuesday? Everybody was supposed to have power. So hopefully everybody, I was watching some people on the news. They were pretty upset about not having power for so long. I'm always 50-50. You know what I mean? I look at a lot of that stuff, and I think a lot of people think that, government cares for us. They don't. That God Himself is going to come down and take care of us, and He can only do so much. And they get upset, and then I think about all the men and women that are working, and there's a reason because there's a transformer they can't get, so they have to move over, and then there's a tree, so they need the tree service, and the house they got to work, and they got to be safe, and it just takes time. It's unfortunate what happened. I'm sure our time's coming, you know, but I'm going to be looking on the positive side. I'll be looking at how my electric bill is going to be cheaper. You know, they ain't going to be bending me over because I'm going Amish. I'm going to be running candles, you know. I always got a backup plan. Everyone's back online. Well, that's good. Then nobody will be crying. Everybody be good to go. It was a hell of a mess. Rach was sending me some. I mean, it looks like a war zone, man. I mean, it's just, I'm sitting there looking, thinking, I need to go down with my chainsaw. I'll get me a job. Get me a job, be a tree man. Yes, 7. That's good. Yeah, it's nice. It's good that everybody's back up and running. Especially, I always feel bad if, especially for older people. That's the worst. If they got oxygen, stuff like that. That's tough. That is tough. That is rough. Dealing with all that stuff adds a lot of extra flooding basements and stuff. Oof. Oof. But what you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You gonna get a backup plan? Get a backup generator? Move into, what would you move into? Maybe a condo? Would a condo have a generator? Get a condo with a generator? I don't know if they would have generators. Got lucky on this one. Hell yeah, man. Only out for 6 hours. That's a long time though. What, 2 weeks? Basically 2 weeks, wasn't it, for being out of power? It's a long time. I can imagine. Or that way he had a bunch of trees down. Oof. Oof. What's that say? No, what's no R? Oh, redacted. What'd you get done today, Tony? Did you guys you do any work? Get everything? Oh, is everything up and running? Yeah, it goes out. It's only for two. Yeah, yeah. We're pretty lucky too. The power normally uh, doesn't normally go out. Consumers does a pretty good job. Consumers Power is who we have. They do a pretty good job. There's only so much you can do when you got such a big storm. You know what I mean? But you know, I definitely always think it's a good idea. At least it's always in the back of my head. I think the fuel tank was one of the best things we ever did because we used to do the fuel man card, and it was like we used to think the fuel man card was all this, great. We can keep the mileage, we can see, and it just got all messed up. People weren't entering stuff right. The numbers were broken on the machine, so they were entering in the wrong numbers, and then they were using them or abusing them, or they used them somewhere we didn't know where. And then I always think about the fuel tank, and I always go, that fuel tank is really nice because let's say we run into a gas shortage. We could be prolonged for, we could probably get away for about a month. You know what I mean? That we could still provide service if we needed fuel, possibly for generators or other things. We still have fuel on hand, so it's nice having that. And it's nice that the company doesn't charge anything for the tank or anything. We pay for the fuel, and that's just a free service. And they've come out, they've changed the pump on it, I think 3 times now, and that's a $1,200 pump. Um, and they just take care of it, maintain it. I was nice enough to power wash it for them a while back ago, which I didn't even get a thank you, but the one guy said it did look nice. So that's something nice. As you grow, you know what I mean. Maybe it's even something for Tanner to think about. Possibly having it for his guys and stuff. Maybe diesel. You know, it just keeps everything consolidated. You just got one bill. I think it's really nice. Especially you got a fleet of vehicles. Don't go through with winds over 110. Sometimes I always wonder if they manipulate the weather. You know what I mean? And then that way they like think about how much business that just generated. All the tree companies and chainsaws and just uh, power company supplies and trucks and tires and just what did that all stimulate? You know what I mean? Or maybe they're out of control of it. Maybe they played with it too much and now it's pissed off type of thing. I don't know. I always wonder. Uh, you know, um, I never heard much anymore what happened down at Hawaii, but I know California. I think they're building only one house of that whole strip that's right on the lakeshore there, that burnt, and it's just really weird how people been trying to apply for permits and they won't let them. It's like I wonder if that's part of their their plan. But yeah, 110 is pretty wicked. That's some pretty dangerous stuff. But even Michigan with all those trees topping, all these high winds, I know it's coming. It's coming, man. It ain't gonna be long. We're gonna get smacked with something. Hell yeah, it's some strong wind. I think I've seen what 70 and gusts, 70 and 80. And I mean, I thought we were done. You know what I mean? So 100 to 110. Oh, you know, oh no. No, I remember one time we had a storm so bad. I mean, wife of Tron was in a separate building on the property. She sheltered in place. I had the little one, and I normally am pretty. I feel like I've been through enough storms where I'm like, this ain't whatever. And I seen those trees, and I started hearing cracking. And I had a couple pine trees that went, and I grabbed that kid as fast as I could. That little kid, I went and shoved her in the bathtub, and I was ready to go get the bed mattress and throw it over the tub and hunker down because I thought we were going. Oh yeah, think of all the business loss because they had right, right. That's a good point. But see, what goes through my mind? Okay, okay, this is great. This is good stuff. This is juicy stuff, right? This is that stuff I like to really. So right, but what if this is just my conspiracy? Put your hat on. What if, right? We're trying to kill small business, right? That's what we're trying to do, right? In America, we're trying to kill small business. We don't want small business. We want corporations. We want stuff we control, dictate. We don't want small business. That's what the cough syndrome, right? Killed a lot of business. Um, so what if that stuff don't matter? But it's always like I always keep thinking about how it really helps the people at the top. The guys that actually have the copper mines, the guys that actually have maybe they're making the steel plants, the real big Rockefeller type guys. Like I always wonder if that's like the conclusion of like how they do stuff. You know what I mean? Like they're at the very top and they're like, hey, can you like make a couple little burns through here and burn some stuff or maybe like I couldn't believe I was watching something. I don't know how recent this was. Maybe Evan knows, but they were talking about like in Canada, they couldn't go into the woods. They can't do no off roading. That's like they're gonna get fined like $10,000. I was just like, I have no doubt that shit's coming to America. But I sat there, I was just like, what? You can't go out in the woods. You can't go out to nature. I thought, screw you. Like we need to bring back. Remember, I always still think about when they had the hang thing, for the farmers, and that was the farmers were going through hard times. I thought, where's the America like that? That people actually won't burn other people, that they go to an auction, and if they do auction it, it's for pennies. It's a penny auction. That's what it's called. And then if somebody does buy it, they give it back to the farmer. But it's to screw the bank, basically. And that's why they hang the rope. So basically it's a sign that this is a penny auction. Like if you screw over and they actually buy this and don't give it back to the farmer, the family that owns this property, like everybody's going to put you up on there. And I just think about how many times like that guy was sitting there saying you can't go out into your national forest, you can't ride, you can't do this, you can't do that. And I just thought right there, I went, remember the penny auctions? Let's bring back the penny auctions. I think we need a little more penny auctions. Like nah, we ain't doing that. Now I'm watching that whole thing with who's the I don't know what his name is for the minister or whatever for Canada. and he's talking about Trump, and I'm thinking, these guys probably are like talking shit. Hey, you did a good job, Johnny. Yeah, you did a good job, man. You made it seem real. We're doing real good. Yeah, we're gonna get so much money out of these Canadians, these Americans. They're so freaking stupid. We're doing great, man. We're doing great. We're gonna be able to do in price increases. The buddies are gonna make awesome money. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, they're gonna get another 5, 10%. Ah, yeah. We're gonna, not a problem, man. All right, you have a good night. That's what I feel like. I'm just sitting there and I'm just going, when's this shit stop? This is some bullshit right here. Like they keep telling us, oh, tariff this, tariff that, tariff. We're gonna match it. Dude, we're paying for this stuff. We are paying for this stuff. We are the battery cells paying for this shit. You know, that's why I'm like, we need to quit buying this stuff. Fix the old vehicles. Quit buying all the extra stuff. Quit buying the subscriptions. So it hurts them so bad that they go, wow, we can't keep this going. Our stockholders aren't enough. People aren't buying our stuff. We got a real problem. We need to change. Yeah, you need to change. Your stuff sucks. I mean, what, Whirlpool just came out with some new wash machine that's supposed to last. I mean, I like the idea at the least trying. It's supposed to last 30 years. Don't know if it will. Still might want to stick with a Speed Queen. But the fact that they're talking about it, let's do it. Like Toyota with these cheaper trucks. Let's do it. Let's do it. I don't want to root for China, but if we can get some cheaper vehicles, and I don't think they'll let them in, though. We should have options. I like options. Yeah, it's bad. It looks like a mess. Today's gonna be playing two roles. Yeah. Float our car down once down there. Shop for Tony's garage door service for winter. Well, it'll be so nice down where it's warm. And your guys' neck of the woods? Oh yeah, we got a ton of them. A lot of them are getting destroyed. I think they're supposed to have what I heard rumors of, like Halloween. They're supposed to do like a mass like smacking all of them. Little choppy chop. Canada, you guys probably got them double. Those guys are just wicked up there. Just got rid of them. Ooh, somebody finally got voted them out. Whatever. Carney, or did this guy have darker? I think he was lighter hair, maybe grayish a little bit. Nah, I don't think I've seen a ponytail. He had pretty clean cut. He was just like, we knew the American people wrote their stuff in pencil, and I just thought, oh, this is just breaking my heart. This guy, you know. I don't believe that stuff. Like I said, I was already thinking about Evan. I'm thinking, Jesus, Evan's trying to provide for his family. They're all just humans. They're all trying to provide, for their family and their loved ones. And here's these people ruining our lives of just increase after increase after increase. Like I said, about ready to go Amish, man. This stuff is ridiculous. It's stupid. You know, prices keeps going up. It's like they're pushing so much stuff because they screwed up so bad with so much debt. And the bond market's going crazy that they're trying so hard. It feels like the 2008. I ain't gonna lie. It feels like 2008 over again. So, but the problem is they got that old printer, and they'll just keep printing away. If they even does, it won't be that long. Even if we do have a dip, it'll be like, oh, we're crashing. And they just got the jet fuel dumping back in. Oh, we're running again. We're good. We're good. We got our next stimulus, you know. Lose power, make their own, loses power. Would be national disaster because place would blow up. uh if he's Mac Trump, is probably Rob Ford's probably. That's probably who it was. It was on a little short video. I just watched it earlier. I was like, whatever. I'm about ready to get another set of radios and just get rid of the phone. Use it maybe during the day or something, but nighttime just it goes away because you're either going to get politics to vote for shortly here, advertising on your phone. I already get someplace for blades that market it. Otherwise, you get all the whatever feed stuff where it's like I'm going to be sitting back drinking a beer somewhere, listening to the old Hank Williams Jr. or something, and Johnny Cash whittling a stick. Oh, they were voted out tonight. Nice, nice. That's okay. I like Babe. Babe's okay. It's better than Dickhead or something. That's good. That's good. I can't believe. I just have a weird. I don't know what Like I said, I got my. Let me get my tinfoil hat. But the whole flock cameras is really strange to me. It feels like another test. Like I think the cough syndrome was a test to see how far they could push it. And the cameras, I could see they want the cameras. You know what I mean? Like the cameras seem like they need to stay. Those are a must. So I was really surprised that I seen the media, you know, showing disaster or seeing stuff this is happening or they're being covered up or they're being blown to pieces or they're being paintballed or whatever. It just, and I don't know if it's because it's like a separate company. It's not owned by the government. Maybe it is. I don't know. And they're just like, you can put them up and maybe we'll try them. And then they do like a free, like, I don't know what their contract stuff is. Like, it's almost like they pop up. And it's like I've seen somebody that said, hey, these things run probably what, 12 or $3,000 a pop or whatever they are, 1,200. Um, so what do they do? Like, who even's the contractor for these? I've never even seen somebody put them up. I just see them up. I was like, oh, where'd that come from? Um, they do it in the middle of the night. So, well, actually, I know they do. There was one being put up over in Norton Shores, Michigan, there, and I know that somebody took a picture of them. I was like, oh, they're putting one on a. This one was on actually a light pole or for the street light. Um, so they were doing it at night. But I just always wonder what they just. I don't know. It seems weird. You know what I mean? Like, oh, let's make them think that, but that yet they're probably really tracking us on the phone and watching us on the phone and our movements. I mean, yesterday, right? I didn't know with an iPhone, but like a video, I was shaking it against the bed or something because the cat was doing something. I had a cat meowing or something, and the cat was like trying to like, what the hell's that? So I was shaking it, and the video kept, and it's like, are you shaking your video because there's a problem with the video? I'm like, no. Like I'm shaking it because I'm making it sound like there's something over here scratching or something or a cat, and it's freaking out my cat. But my damn phone keeps locking up, saying, "Is there a problem with the phone or the video, or is there an emergency?" And I'm like, no. Can't you just be a phone? And I'm shaking it because I want to shake it. Like, why do you got to know everything? Oh, one video of Doug Ford, the guy saw shit talking about dumping out whole of Crown. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, I know that guy. I seen that guy. Press conference. Yeah, I seen that. What was that for Royal? Was that for Royal? Is that what's called Royal? Royal whatever whiskey or whatever it is. Crown. No, it's Crown. Isn't it Crown? Crown something. He was dumping it out. And I seen that. I seen that. Like I said, I don't know. I feel like it's a football game going on here. It's. Yeah, I just I'm not even. It's not even like. It's almost like not registering. Like you watch it and it feels like you're like, what's the reason behind this? Like I was watching it today and I just kept going. All I hear is like I think they want us to, right? Like I know our Canadian friends are human just like us and they bleed just like us, and I think they want to do the same thing. They want to provide for their family and have nice things and homes, warm homes and air conditioning and water, running water. You know what? I mean, I think those are human things that people want and they should have. But you sit here and I know what they're trying, you're sitting there and you want to be like, those Canadians, how could they? And I'm just looking at it and I'm like, no, this is so stupid. All it is no matter what, we're going to pay. Either on Canada's side, they're going to pay or we're going to pay. And they're going to act like it's some big tough thing and it's their fault. And I'm sitting there and trying to look beyond that. And I'm going, what are they getting from this? Because the government always wants inflation. Even though if you listen to like Peter Schiff, why wouldn't we want deflation? But they never want deflation. And I always come back to the housing And this is why I'm always with the young guys. I'm always thinking it ain't the same. It ain't the same back in the 50s and stuff like that. You could have one income and you could make out pretty decent. Your money was worth more, right? And that's why I always relate it back to gasoline. Gasoline really hasn't changed. If anything, it's gotten shittier. It's got more ethanol and it's garbage. It doesn't even perform as good as what 100% pure gasoline is. And then now they're talking about making it something. So, anyways, I think about gasoline. Well, gasoline used to be 10 cents, 20 cents, 50 cents a gallon, right? Well, now it's $4. It's the same stuff, a little bit worse, but it takes more dollars to buy that gasoline. So, okay, inflation, whatever. Okay, got it. Right. So, but it's the same product. Then you look at the housing, right? And you go, this is a Ponzi scheme, right? You go, this is bullshit. Because you look at it and you look at what they're doing. This works great. If they uncap a house, so every time that's why they want you to, you want you to buy houses, right? Because nobody typically puts them into a trust and then signs them over to their loved ones, which we should be doing, right? And they're part of the trust. So it doesn't get uncapped because every time a house gets uncapped, you buy the house or you look at the previous, or the realtor doesn't tell you what the previous, or he says, well, the taxes normally on this house are $2,000 a year. And you're like, oh, that's not too bad. Well, now that you bought the house, well, yeah, that was when the house was bought for 50,000 back in the day. Now you're buying it for 400,000. So now they increase the taxes on that house. So now you might be paying 4,000, 5,000. You're like, what the hell? And then now on top of this house payment, higher interest, you got to keep up on this house that everything's more expensive. The windows, the carpet, the flooring, the pipes, the hot water tank, all this stuff is way more expensive. And you got to manage all this stuff. So that's why, but now so the township or whoever, the municipality, uh, the city, they get more money because you uncap this house. So now they increase the taxes. It works great for the bankers, right? I mean, all you are is a steward, and they loan you this money that they print from thin air, basically, and you have to take care of it and maintain it. And yet you really don't own it because you're paying to the bank, which you're going to pay double, if not triple, what the house was when you bought it because you're just looking at, well, what's the payment? I can afford that. I can afford that. I can afford that. And so that's why sometimes it's kind of an illusion where that's why I get kind of excited where sometimes I'm always like, thinking about being a younger man. I wouldn't be, and it's a balance, yes, you could rent, but sometimes renting's not bad because like I said, when you're starting out and you don't have the skills, because a lot of stuff, there's a ton of stuff I always have to do on my own because I look at it, I go, I'm not hiring that out. Hell, it's going to be double, triple the price. So you got to do it. Sometimes you get branched out in so many different spots, you just can't do it all. So you got to hire stuff out. And versus you can just focus on your garden, which is your money making, which is your business, and you focus hard on learning how to grow the business, how to be profitable. You take your lickings while you don't have to worry about all these other accessories. This property right here was like one of those examples. I think I was explaining it earlier, but it was kind of, I kind of got thrown into it, and it's like, we're golden. Now I got the township going, I know what you're doing. I'm like, what am I doing? And they're like, you're running a business out of there. Yeah, it's on Apple Avenue. I mean, that's what people do out here is run businesses. Why you crawling down my throat? Well, we know you got internet ran out there. Okay. Well, I'm not the contractor. I didn't even put a shovel in the ground. Like I called our local Comcast internet people and said we need internet. Isn't that on them? They got to pull the permits. They got to call that. I'm not doing the shit. They're just going to put a port on the side of the building so I can hook up to it. And I mean, they're just it's like they're bitter. They're bitter people. That's why you really don't own it. When I did this office, right? I just wanted bare concrete floors. Nope, that's not finished. So we can't give you an occupancy permit or whatever because it's not finished. What do you mean it's not finished? It's concrete. We're gonna have a bunch of dirty guys in here. I don't want nothing else. I don't want tile. I don't want carpet. It's got to be finished. It's got to be painted. It's got to have tile. It's got to have carpet. It's got to be finished. Okay. So I hired a company. Hell, it cost like a couple grand or whatever it was to have them come in and do the floor. You know what I mean? I didn't expect. So I had to take a $30,000 loan out just to finish the building so I could get this place so we could use it. So there's all these hidden things versus you go in and you're just like, shit, I don't know nothing. I just pay rent. Oh, the hot water quit working? Call the landlord. Oh, the furnace quit working? Call the landlord. You know, there's a pipe that blew out in the parking lot or out. Call the landlord, man. I gotta go. I gotta go install doors. I gotta go take care of my customer. I gotta go. You know, you got enough problems. So sometimes you can add a lot of complexity to it, and some people, like I said, some people can do it. I couldn't do it. You know, when I started growing with employees, I absolutely hated having employees come to my home because it's not that it's impossible, but it's just there's things that you do that maybe you want private, especially being a younger generation or family. You know, you got kids. You know, there's this time maybe you want to let your kids run around the yard. You don't want to have to worry about workers and trucks and trailers and angle iron and doors that are hanging out or wood doors and just garbage. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. Maybe you want to come home early. You know what I mean? And people are calling you because now they see your home. There's just a lot that goes into it. So, um, you know, but everybody's different. Everybody's situation's different. Every deal is different. You know what I mean? Uh, um, I just know there's a lot of stuff that's hidden that we don't know about. Doo-doo-doo. Dolly, yeah, it was. You know, I felt really bad. I mean, I still do. I don't. Obviously, everybody loves Dolly, but I didn't notice. I didn't realize she was big on the vax, the shot, and so maybe it caught up to her. I don't know. You know, I'm sure it's just old age. You know what I mean? Everything is, you know, but somebody had a video and I thought, I didn't even know she was, you know how it is. Everything comes to light now because she's passed and she made some good songs. I have nothing against her. She, who's that one guy she always kind of sung with? He passed away too. He was a good, those two were good together. They just looked like a happy couple. It's kind of like June Carter and Johnny Cash, just, you know, a great couple, duets and stuff, you know. He used to say that. Thanks, PT. Um, because America wanted to put news back on Facebook. Hmm, maybe, maybe. Like I said, I just, you know what I mean? It's one of those things. I just hope and pray people just look past, you know, just try to use common sense and realize, in my opinion, I got to say that, you know, in my opinion, I think all this stuff is a lie. I think it's 100%. Um, it's even like with Mr. T, you know, sure, I'd wanted him. You know what I mean? I think he's being controlled by Israel. I he's pretty much halfway through, and I don't see the ship really churning too much here. I mean, they're really stirring the pot. I heard he lost money in his first, a lot of money. I heard he's making money. Maybe Israel said, "Hey, make your money." I don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? All I know is there's things that I can't change, unfortunately. And I told one of the guys the first time everything, and I said, when my bank account starts getting fatter because of these people, you got my attention. I believe you're trying to do the right thing. But, you know, even this cattle thing, I, I thought we were supporting American everything. So why aren't we supporting our American farmers or trying to give them money? You know, because I really think the farmers get screwed. You know what I mean? I think they just want it to all be a corporation. They just want to grow stuff. They just want to put like acid and bleach together and they just want to like a foam to come out and they're like, it's meat. It's meat. You know, it's meat and it's great, and you'll eat it. You will eat the bugs. Um, so I just none of this stuff makes sense. And then the fact that I've watched what Mr. T can't tell us where it's come from, the secretary or whatever it is of agriculture or whoever, they can't comment. You can't comment. Like I don't really want to say what do you got to hide? If it's the truth and it's good truth and it's honest, what do you got to hide? But they just hide the shit. We'll never find out whatever happened to Kennedy. We'll never find out what happened to what's the guy, um, Charlie. We'll never find out what happened to Charlie. How do we have balloons or bubbles flying around in America and we think they're from China? and they don't get shot down. I don't understand this stuff, man. Can somebody please make sense of all this? Oh, had a trust. We have to keep me a little bit informed, PT, if you got any good stuff, because I'm always interested in the trust. Those things can get pretty in depth, and they can be good. They can be good. I mean, I really think the whole future generation or future what am I trying to say here? I'm trying to say the future wealth or family legacy or wealth. We have to get smarter, and we should be putting stuff in trust. You know what I mean? So it gets they're part of the trust, and they're getting. And sometimes I hear good things, sometimes I hear bad things. It's a very mixed, but it's they're hoping that you don't do that. I think, in my opinion, it's complicated. I think they make it complicated. I think that's why they make taxes complicated. They all make the stuff complicated, more complicated than it has to be. Just like my damn smart meter on my house, right? The damn thing can't go out there and it tells me what I'm going to pay. That's what I want to see. I want to see a gauge on that damn thing. I want to see it. Oh, I'm at $20. It hasn't reset yet. Oh, they always do it the first of the month, or it's got a timer on it. You got 2 days left, sucker. You better slow it down. Otherwise, you're going to pay $60. And I'm not paying $60 for electricity, or whatever. Shoot, we pay more than that. But I'm just saying, I think we can be, we're so smart, but yet we're so dumb, if that makes sense. So we should, but they uncap properties, and that's why they want to make it like flip, right? And that's why I think they do it too, because then it makes everybody go, "Whoa!" I mean, I mean, because I go to so many customers, I've never gone to one customer yet, unless the house went rogue on them, that bad foundation, the foundation's cracking or something crazy, and they say I should never bought this house. But most of the time, everybody I always ever go to, they what do they always do? You know how much I bought this house for? No, but I bet you're going to tell me. I bought this house for 30,000 back 30 years ago. And I'm like, okay. And they go, you know how much it's worth now? And I'm like, nope. And they go, hey, it's worth $500,000. And I'm like, that's awesome. And I mean, I am happy for them, honestly. But I'm also sitting there in my brain starts computing. And I go, that's if you can sell it in a good market. That's not money on the table yet. Until it's in your bank account and you can cash out and you can put it on your bed and roll in it, then it's yours. But otherwise it's just fantasy, because the market, if we go into a correction right now, houses are sitting longer right now, houses aren't worth as much right now because everything's retracting. That's why Ford they're doing subprime lending. They got 2025 models they're trying to get rid of, and I hope it burns them bad, honestly, because they've been built so much junk. And I hope it burns them. I hope people, I'd love to see people start fixing old stuff and old stuff be around again. I don't know if I can honestly do it because I can't keep up, but maybe AI, maybe Chat GTP will help me out with some pricing to see what the commercial leases do, because I haven't got my hiney down there to talk to them to see about newer vehicles, what they would charge. I am curious, because the way I think about it with Michigan and rust and everything, you might be able to better just pay the price and you just send it down the road, because at least you can go whatever 30, 60,000. You don't have to change oils and fluids, except obviously your oil changes and stuff. And then you just give it back, and you're not changing calipers, you're not dealing with rust, you're not dealing with changing rear end fluids and transfer fluid. And it's just you used it, you abused it, and you do whatever you want. Maybe you could buy it still too out of it, and you could drive it for a beater or use it for a beater, and then you get the new one. I don't know. It's just freaking expensive. It's a very complicated system. All it is to keep you wrapped in. They want to use you like a battery cell. Watch the Matrix. Watch all the Matrix. It'll help bring light to things, how the world, the conspiracy stuff of things. I believe it's one of those movies I want my kids to watch as they get older. The Matrix. There's another one. I forget what that one was called. There's some good movies out there. Right now, me and my stuff. Said Dolly. Dolly did, yeah. Supposedly at the very end she had cancer. Supposedly she's taking care of her late husband and stuff like that. So, honestly, I think she went out pretty clean. You know what I mean? A lot of people didn't hate her, which is hard in the industry. I mean, she pretty straight shooter, I think, for her marriage stuff. Um, I think she did pretty good. You know what I mean? I plead the fifth. That's right. It's the way to go. Yep. That's why I'm always, even the cops and stuff like that, I'm not giving you more information on your investigation to incriminate myself because everything you say can and will be used against you. That's it. That's why I watch a lot of cop videos because there's so much to it, right? Like they teach you in school, you got to be honest. You need to talk. Here's everything is all this, but in the real world, in the court world, in the attorney world, in the politics world, they all lie. Even cops can lie to you. I didn't know that. Cops can lie to you. That's okay for the cops to lie to you. But it's not right for you. They always twist your words. They always say, but you just said you were coming from the grocery store. Well, I meant the gas station. Are, are you being nervous? Why would you say that? Just saying. A little higher tax, but for your kids, it's really the way to go. Yeah. What's this? I don't even think I've ever heard of this. I like the king size trust. What's the king size trust? Is that like what Trump gets or something? How do I get the king size bed? I want the king size trust. I always mess with holes and say, yeah, yeah, and say the house is still worth, yeah, yeah. There you go. Yeah, Trump gets the golden trust. That's not mean. Like I said, I'm so sick of seeing what they're doing to Canada. Because all that stuff trickles. It's like what they do to California. It happens to, it starts, like, I didn't realize, I heard about it and I didn't know what was going on. I heard something about the tires. And then now they're saying, like, it's like, if you have over 35s, they let you have 35s. They're doing something with the tires. And I thought, how stupid. And I thought, but that's probably what they want. They want to make it so bad. Go ahead. Go ahead, you little peons. Leave California because we don't want you here. Because once you leave, we're gonna buy up all the good stuff. We got the best weather. Go away, go away. Or if they're trying to do their 15-minute cities and stuff like that, I can't stuff the mattress, right? I just can't believe how much crap they're putting on us nowadays. It just seems like they're constantly. That's why, like I said, I'm almost kind of get ready just to get the walkies, and I just got to be able to contact the wife for an emergency, flat tire, side of the road, a kid event, type of thing. Because I tell you what, it just seems like no matter you're looking at this, you look this way, it's like look over here, look at this, look this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. It's look everywhere, and none of it makes sense. None of it's common sense. None of it's like wholesome. That was why I couldn't stand the whole cough syndrome because if they would have came out and talked to us like adults and said we got a little bit of a problem here, there's some stuff happening. It's really unfortunate. I can relate with that. I can understand that. It's like being at the hospital and they tell you about your grandparent that these are the situations. This is what we're trying, and you can relate with that. Like you're like, okay, like I understand. So we're going to do this. If you're sick or something, don't be like common sense. But instead, it's we got a problem and we're here to fix it. And then all of a sudden, what really still ticks me off is the fact that we found a solution, but we still can never find a solution for cancer. That really makes me sad. You know what I mean? Like I just go, we had to put that in warp speed. You know what I mean? And yeah, what about all the people with cancer? Some people say it's the plastic. Is it the water bottles? Is it the plastic lines? Is it the food, ultra processed food? I don't know. I don't know, but how many people grow their own food nowadays? We don't have many people that live on a farm that have their own pigs and slaughter them and make their own bacon and have those chickens and with their own eggs and their own cows and stuff. Instead, we just go to the grocery store and they give us stuff that we have no clue where it came from or where it's been sitting or like the blueberries when I used to work in produce and I spilled them all across the sticky floor at the pop vending machine, and I thought I was going to get fired, so I scraped them all back up. So make sure you wash your produce, especially those blueberries. Rinse them off good. They taste a little bit like Dr. Pepper or Coke. I'm sorry. Little stinky feet. I'm sorry. I don't want to lose my job. So that's for entertainment purposes. I'm not incriminating myself. That was what we call a joke. It may or may not have happened. Yeah, exactly. I'm with you, Rich. Right? They'll never find it. They'll never find a cure. And it's sad. Even some of the people with all that money. I've heard some stuff about eating certain food and going to Mexico. That might be better off. You know what I mean? I heard fasting. Fasting can do a lot for you. You know, what I mean, just don't eat. We eat too much, including me. Too many burgers. I like those burgers. You know, guess I'm just gonna die happy though. All right, guys, I'm gonna go. It's getting late. I gotta go chase some baby money and pay some taxes tomorrow, if you know what I mean. And I hope you guys have a great day. Hope you have a great Thursday. Good luck out there. See you later. Keep the fingers. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all the comments. I love you guys. God bless you guys. And God bless the blue collar, man.